So we're recording. We're live.
What's hood? What's
good? So
know?
talk to me.
Man, passed my favorite corner this morning, Cesar Chavez in 35.
Did you get your windows wiped by the piss water buckets?
No. I'm starting to know the guys over there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like I know like the one dude stays with no shoes, and there's like broken glass everywhere. That's like
Yeah.
committed, you know.
It's like those guys who climb Mount Kilimanjaro barefoot, but he's just doing it on Cesar Chavez and walking down Dirty Six, like calloused toes.
I mean, in all reality, he's probably facing a little more risk on Cesar Chavez with those no shoes on, dog. You know what I mean? Like,
and for those listening, Cesar Chavez is a pretty rough corner here in Austin. Yeah,
it's an interesting one. I tried to get a video, but because it's been active.
Just pull the mic a little closer. Yeah.
Good, we're good.
Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
No, it's been like active a lot of mornings, like active. Yeah, but this morning it wasn't as good.
Yeah,
and I was like
weird.
trying to get a little video on the way out, like get the street sign in there, you know, because it's been the inside joke all week.
Yeah.
But
how live it gets down on Cesar Chavez. There's one guy who's always lurking around over there that I've been seeing since I moved here. Like he's like the king of the corner. You know?
He holds it down. He holds Imperial Court.
I think so. I seen him like looking real rough the other day.
Yeah.
And then I seen him like a couple days after that with drip. Like he had a come up, like he had like matching shoes.
He might have just got hit with Narcan the night before, and he was just like coming back around.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
could be.
Because even Miriam said, "Wow, that guy's got like the drip," and I'm like, "Yo, that guy's usually over there looking rough." Like, so you know,
he got brought back to life. No, my favorite dude is the his encampment's been there since the previous time. It's still there today.
They're just letting it
off
rock.
of Woodland. Yeah. Because I bust off of Woodland. So I don't have to deal with that traffic right before I see the Chavez.
Yeah, you get off 35 earlier than me, even. I get off like 2 exits after that, right before the river.
No, I get off because I almost kind of like want to see it.
Yeah, then you catch those lights over there.
I catch all the tags too. Like I see like some new shit. Like, oh shit, that dude Hog hit this spot right here. Cool.
Yeah. I wonder who that guy is.
I don't know.
I would love to like meet him or interview him. He's probably like one of the most up guys in the city, I would think, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Nice.
I mean, that I could see.
Yeah.
You know, him and that dude Buscar.
Buscar.
Yeah, Buscar. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's up. But I get a little mixed up. But this guy off of Woodland is he's got like, because his tent was open the other day, right? So he's got 2 tents. One's like a storage unit. And the other one, he's got like a grill in there.
Oh, you just seen this guy straight up flipping burgers. Like
he was cooking shit inside there. Like it was more than a hot plate too.
Like you almost wonder if some of these people here are like choosing that, you know? My one friend was telling me that he encountered a guy here who just said he like chose to do that because he could just live in a tent, you know.
Well, there was a interview with some chick that was from LA that was like on the street, and they were like, "Yo, why are you out here?" And she's like, "Well, you want me to just work just so I could just live? I could just live out here,
right,
and not work." And I was like, "I mean, at least you got a plan, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know." But like that was her logic. I was like, yeah, I guess, dude. You know, like you know,
the logic.
I could see your point. You know,
the logic's not bad. Besides the fact that you're probably the one mostly paying for her. You know, that's where it gets a little dicey.
That's where it gets dicey. You know, she gets sick. I'm footing that bill, like, one way or another.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, she was doing the runaround Sue. You know what I'm talking about? But
the old runaround Sue.
Yeah. The you know, but Austin's like an interesting place, right? Because you know, you've got like the, you know, the cats with the blue hair and they're like super woke and stuff. And then you've also got like Alex Jones lives here.
Right.
And Rogan. Yeah. And you're like, this is interesting.
Yeah. Actually,
you know, it's like a yin yang.
I'm actually, well, for me, that's like the most interesting thing about it for me that I actually like is that you get this juxtaposition.
Yeah.
So and almost in a weird way, it's like balanced, but not, you know, like it's like.
Well, I think it kind of it's interesting because I do think it kind of keeps everybody from fully bugging out.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because you'll get pushed back if you go too far this way or too far that way, which, you know, could lead to a little bit of conflict, a little friction. But overall, like, you know, because I mean, really, what is the city? The city's problems, it isn't like, it's not like Chicago where it's like, or Detroit where like there's like mad murders. It's just like homeless and junkie type problems. Like your car might get broken into the wrong spot or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But which is typical, I think, of probably just most cities, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
So it's not too. Well, to quote Tim Dillon, it's like he said, Austin could be one wrong mayor away from becoming Portland. But that's where I enjoy like the fact that it's part of Texas, right? Because it kind of keeps that at bay, right? Yeah. For example, like the governor had just sent in the state police here.
Oh, you see him.
Because like he's like, hey, the city, you're not gonna do anything. Cool, we'll just send in like a bigger force. You know? So it's kind of cool. It's like kept at bay, but you still get to like maybe enjoy some of the fruits of being a more, you know.
Yeah, well, I have a whole hypothesis about the different areas of the country, right? So
let's hear it.
If you go to like a really liberal place, there's going to be some shit you got to deal with. Like you're going to have to deal with homeless people for sure,
right?
Like you're going to have to deal with like street beggars, this kind of thing, like little petty crimes, you know, like junkies, this sort of thing.
That's just like the nature of
the beast, right? Now, but you are going to get like the best fucking food.
Exactly.
Like you're not going to get, like you can get Thai food like 2 a.m. and it's banging.
Exactly my point, yeah.
Now you go to a more red area, a more Republican area, right? You're going to get like shit, it will be super clean, super safe, right? But you know, what you got like pit beef and burgers. Right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's all you got.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to get mofongo.
Yeah. You're not going to get like gay mochi Korean
cupcakes. Not even at all, dude. There's no bubble tea out this motherfucker. Dude.
Sometimes you're just craving like a bubble tea.
Sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes.
Right.
That's why I like living kind of where I'm at, because the surfer culture brings in the good food.
Right.
You know, and then the NASCAR cats will bring in the good like barbecue shit, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's my favorite part of living here. It's like, you know, I can indulge in some of these aforementioned foods you had spoken about, but I could also do it while carrying a 9mm concealed. You know, it's like probably the best part of here.
I'd venture to say that. Yeah, I'd venture to say
because like you know, if I moved somewhere a little more like rural, in the sense like I think that I would personally miss that, and even just like the art culture in general and like all that stuff, you know. And then even just literally the demand, you know.
Yeah.
Also being in a city where like somebody might want to visit to draw in like a traveling client or something, you know, or whatever.
Well, I think that's like, in order to do what we're doing, like as a job, right? If you're gonna have like a private studio like this, or like what I'm gonna be opening up soon, you have to have some sort of draw, right? Like it's got to be like a cool city you're in. Or like I got the beach right there and it's like a known ass beach. You know what I mean? You need something where people can be like, I could bring my girl or my man and tell them to go fuck off, and they're not going to get bored and drive me crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, they could stay and do some other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like people will say that to me, like, oh, you know, I want to get out and visit you and, you know, get a tattoo. I've been meaning to like check out Terry Black's or, you know, whatever, you know, or I want to go to Rogan's new comedy club. Yeah. So there's like a little bit of a draw, you know, like where you, it's like, cool, I want to kind of take like a semi-vacation down by the beach maybe.
Yeah. I want to put my feet up and like look at some teal water.
Yeah. Or I might want to just like flip off my shoes and ground, you know?
Yeah. Whatever. Or like I'm out here just trying to I'm going to get this tattoo and I'm going to get trucked at the bar on Main in Daytona and like try to smash a biker chick. Like that's
right.
That might be their thing. A lot of my Texas clients are on that shit.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the ones that come from Houston and shit like that, or Dallas, they'll be like, so listen, bud, where's these bitches in leather at? And I'm like, oh, that's on Main. That's where you want to be at. Dog.
Is that like the main, obviously?
That's where like the bike week shit is, right?
Okay.
You know?
That's
and
the
they've
drag.
Got like,
they've
got like, they got like stores called like Hot Leathers.
Right.
And shit like that. Yeah. It's interesting.
So you go down the Hot Leathers, and that's like a store there?
Yeah, it's right on the main street.
And it's like a leather store?
Yeah, like all biker leather apparel, and you know, there might be tassels on the female ones.
So that's,
you know?
Would you think that that's more of like a seasonal store there? Like, because they harp on bike week. So like are they making you would think like a high percentage of their sales?
No, I think it's all the time.
Because bike week is there. Also a culture lingers of biking.
Yeah,
there.
it's actually what's made it a hard time for me opening a shop.
Oh, okay.
Because so much of the tattoo scene there is so centered around like bikes and truck events.
I see.
That you know, the city will look at that as like, oh, another fucking tattoo shop. What they're
Right.
just going to be like,
And they're
like
associating the tattoo shops with like the bikers and the
Well, I
old
mean, it
scene.
is
Yeah,
like
it
the
So that's still alive and well there, essentially.
yeah. I mean, like honestly, dude, like I could probably do like work at a walk-in shop like over there by the beach in Daytona, and like probably still make like a decent living just slanging like how it was in like 2010
And all year, though, is what I'm
all
saying.
year.
Because
All
I
year.
was under the impression that like when Bike Week happens, all bikers come down to Daytona Beach, Florida, and it gets lit. And then kind of when that's over, it just like resumes like a regular life, nothing associated with that. But you're saying that
No, it's the whole area is all cultured like that. Like
because of that,
like your
did
real
they,
estate agent has a chopper.
right? So
Like,
so
you know
did
what I
that
mean?
did that happen as a result of having Bike Week there, or did they have Bike Week there because that culture was thick before?
Well, I think this is where they invented like the racing that became NASCAR on the beaches there. They're flat.
Oh.
So I think it's a whole motorsport thing.
Okay, so there's like some history with
Yeah.
motorsports there, and then these types of cats were chilling there,
Yeah.
and then they started making like as things got like more commercialized in the future, they started making like the actual events there.
Yeah, and I mean it's like perfect if you're like a motorcycle dude. Like it's flat.
Yeah,
The highway A1A like literally rides the coast all the way, like the whole state, and it's all flat. But like by me, you're riding A1A, and literally, if you say you're going north towards St. Augustine or something, to your right is just ocean and pelicans, like right there.
right.
So it's like actually like beautiful.
Sure.
Like if I'm stressing, I'll like go ride on A1A and like just like peep some pelicans, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
So it's like it's conducive to the whole thing.
Yeah, I wonder if like Florida in general is like conducive to like this like lore of the Florida man. Like think about it, like if the flatness of the state, like the wildlife of the state, like it just creates like a ruggedness, but also like racing, Like,
Yeah,
like,
no.
it's kind of cool if you think about
Well,
it. Like
it's like,
literally conducive to like adversity via the wildlife and like going fast
Yeah. Well, that's
and
like
taking your shirt off.
Well, you got to think too. So, it's warm all year round. It's like there's only like 1 month where you can't go in the ocean.
Yeah, and it'd probably be still warmer than like a Jersey ocean.
Well, when I first moved there, I went to me and Nikki and the kids went swimming on like New Year's Eve.
Yeah, just because
But
you're,
like
you're
now
used
I
to,
wouldn't
like,
do that because now I'm like a little soft. Like,
Yeah, and
that
you-
water be too cold. Now.
and you got that Florida like now your
Yeah.
blood's thinning because that's how I am
Yeah.
here now. It's like 72 degrees out. I'm wearing a hoodie.
No, I'm like pussy now.
Yeah,
Like when it gets it'll be like 60 and I'm like, oof, too much, bro.
This is what
Too
I'm
much.
saying.
Yeah, like, but like I'm also like a bit more jovial and I'll wear like more fun colors now.
yeah,
Okay, so that's what's interesting about Florida, right? So there is like everything's kind of rugged. Like you're almost like being soft is almost like not even an option, right?
yeah.
Right.
And
But
you're saying that's happening natural.
that's because it's just the way it is. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you could literally you could fuck around and find out with a snake on a trail, like
Exactly.
in the wrong way, right? But at the same time, it's like totally acceptable to wear like coral and pink t-shirts and like be on a chopper.
Yeah. Wow. Like hunting snakes or something.
Yeah, no, it's like it's wild. Like when I think of Florida, like if I could embody it, like the whole thing into one person, that dude Tyler Nolan.
Yeah. That
He's
guy's
Florida.
That,
Like
I mean,
he's like having fun, but he's got like reptiles, guns, he tattoos. He's like he's got the look, but it's not like, you know what I mean? But
I
like
do. In fact,
Yeah.
like I think when I think of the state of Florida, actually like that guy might be one of the few people I picture,
he would
especially
be
when
he's like
related-
the ambassador. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. And I also do think of Jake Sheffield a little bit too.
Yeah, he's the other side of Florida.
Yeah. Like
He's
more like
like
a panhandle.
the
guy.
panhandle,
Yeah.
like sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
like Tyler Nolan, I feel like represents like from Miami to St. Augustine.
Sure.
Right now, Jake would I think hold down that little nook.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
like where the penis connects to the balls. Like
Yeah,
the
like the
balls are like
gooch.
Texas, right?
The gooch.
And the dick is like Florida, right? You know, if
Yeah.
you look at the map, right?
Yeah. Is Texas is the balls?
I think so.
I mean, it kind of makes sense if you think about it because it's
Yeah.
like a state with balls.
Yeah, and even if you look at the geographical, right? Like so, like you've got the shaft that just juts out into the Atlantic and the Caribbean, right?
Yeah, it's just taking
And
a
it
piss
kinda-
real quick
yeah,
on the
just
Caribbean. Like,
busting off some nuts over there.
Yeah.
And the keys are little skeets.
I wonder if that's why the water gets real blue out there, you know?
I mean, maybe.
Because if you think about it, you mix like white into darker blue, you know?
Gets a little softer.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes a
It's
little,
like dusted
little more
out, yeah.
pastel, dude. Yeah. And then, you know, and then like, you know, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, they're like that skin line. That's like where like the base of your dick goes into the balls. You know that look. You know what I'm talking about? That like thick thing of skin. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking
And
about.
but they're holding it together. They're like the bridge from the nuts to the cock,
Yeah. Mhm.
I think.
No, it makes actually
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So then if Texas is the nutsack, what would be the asshole? That would be
California.
Yeah, and I feel like that would be the case even if it wasn't located there, just because.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, listen, dog, you know. Yeah, it's interesting too. I remember really wanting to live in California when I was younger.
Right.
And now I don't even want to visit.
Well, it's funny because actually even just yesterday, my wife said something about that. We were like talking about, remember when we went to California together on like a trip or whatever? And then she's like, California's so nice. She goes, but it's such shit. Like, or I forget how she worded it. I don't even think that's how
It's
she
like
said
it's like California isn't like an interesting.
They're idiots.
spot.
I think that's what she said. Like, not the
mean-
people, like just the way it's run. Right?
Well, yeah, no, because it's like okay, like everyone's got beef with like China, right? But I don't have beef with Chinese people.
No, of course not.
I've
In
got
fact,
like
in
beef
fact, I
with the
like
CCP. You
Yeah,
know what
exactly.
I mean? Yeah, like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
like that's like I don't have beef with like anyone in LA, like
Yeah, exactly.
like at all.
100%,
Like you know, like if it wasn't for Los Angeles, like we wouldn't have like black and gray tattooing.
Sure. Oh
Like,
yeah,
you know what I
and
mean? Like,
even
yeah.
even
A
like
lot of
the-
art things
the
and
history and,
music
the
and-
culture,
yeah,
and like
it's-
and even the place itself is like wonderful.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
just some problems right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And it's like it seems like sometimes they just get worse, or they're not like.
Well,
working on it.
it's interesting too because like I feel like the way LA is now reminds me of New York when I was a little kid.
was
like
actually
when
gonna-
like crack was going on.
right.
Like New York was like kind of wild and like a little dangerous and shit. And like
Yeah, Miriam's uncle was telling me how he used to go down there and it was like literally just an open air drug market, like
Yeah.
Times Square.
my dad talks about it.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it was like peep shows and people slinging dope.
I was a little too young to like, hang
I
out there.
vaguely remember, you know, because I would go to work with my mom and we would take the train in or the ferry or something, you know what I mean? And I can remember I can just barely remember like the trains being lit up with graph and and the way it looked then, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I was too young to know that.
And then like by the time you get to like mid 90s, then New York starts to become like where it's like almost too expensive to live there because
In
like
the mid-90s,
Giuliani
you're
cleaned
saying.
it up
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so hard. But then that made like Connecticut, Jersey, and like upstate New York kind of fucked up. Because
when you say fucked up, what do you mean?
well, Giuliani like kind of priced everybody out that was like lower income,
and then
you know?
and then raised the value in New Jersey and the surrounding areas.
Well, no, it made it those people migrated. So like you got the problems of the city.
Oh, like the runoff, like
Yeah, like you would have the problems of the Bronx in like Catskill, New York.
yeah.
Like, no, seriously. I remember like there was one point where like Catskill, New York, when I was a kid, my dad was like, chill, like we're gonna get the airsoft guns
Well,
somewhere
think
else,
about like
bro.
Newburgh or something.
Newburgh is,
Newburgh's rough, right?
I mean, it was on the top 10 worst places to live for
But-
like a decade.
It's funny because I remember when I didn't understand like much about Newburgh or upstate New York, like they're over there, and someone was like, "Oh, I'm from upstate," and I was like, "Oh, cool, where at?" And they're like, "Oh, Newburgh," and then we moved to like Manhattan, and I was like, "Oh, it must have been like a rough moving from like beautiful nature to like the middle of the city."
Like, nah,
and they were
Newburgh
like,
is like,
"No," they were
nah.
like, "It was like a big upgrade." Like,
Yeah,
I was
this,
like, "Oh."
this is where I'm at right now is significantly better, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but I never knew that. Like I just always thought like, oh, upstate, like beauty, like trees.
well, because
you know?
Newburgh is like one of those places like where you were like just at the outlets copping some Gucci or something, right?
Right.
Or, you know.
Well, I know the town of Cross Beacon. Have you ever
Yeah,
been there?
of
That's like a
course,
real
yeah.
nice town.
Yeah.
I've been to like a museum there and like all
but
that.
it's like a hood in the middle of the woods, and you
Yeah.
can almost get caught slipping, right? Because like, say you're driving up, say you're gonna go to Woodstock or wherever, right? You're gonna go see the races at Saratoga, right?
Sure.
And you're driving up there, like, oh shit, I gotta get some gas. Oh, Newburgh, okay, I'll pull off. You're like, whoa, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? Like, I was
Yeah.
just seeing pine trees, and then now there's like cats slinging canal and shooting dope on the corner. Like, oh shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like you get carjacked to fuck around like that.
Yeah,
You
no,
know, you think shit's all good, and then it's not, you know.
And that's what I didn't know that. You know what I mean?
No, I didn't.
I was
even
naive to that, and then someone
I thought
explained to me.
upstate New York was like pussy.
Apparently, they were like cleaning it up over there, like not cleaning it up, but like gentrifying or like whatever.
Yeah,
like,
well, it's desirable real estate. You know, it's like got a view. It's like on water and shit.
Yeah.
Like makes sense.
Yeah, because we used to go across the river to Beacon. There's like an art museum and shit, and like a couple breweries we used to go to and stuff. You know,
they're like doing that in Daytona, right? Because like I think everybody moving to Florida like had everybody realize like, whoa, hold on. These beaches are like actually really nice. Like we got to get some of this riffraff out of here.
So I never been over there. So is it Daytona is like you're saying there's parts of it that are like not so good or rough or whatever?
Yeah, there's like, so from what I understand, this is what some people told me. Like, you know, obviously I could be incorrect a little bit, but this is just what like cats told me from Florida. And they said like Daytona was like an ideal beach place to go for like a long time in the 20th century, right? And then the spring breaks, like MTV would have their spring break there and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then with all the spring breakers, you got like pops and crime, like rape, stabbings, like drunk stuff. You know what I mean?
I know that happened in, was it like, I forget the area, it was north of in Florida where they used to have the spring break and then there was like a rape case or something and then they completely like cut it out and they don't do it there anymore. I think it was where Jake was from.
Probably, yeah. Like I would imagine.
I forget what it was from. Yeah. So like that kind of thing happened there.
Would happen, yeah. And
but they don't do it anymore, right? That's what I'm saying.
No.
Exactly, yeah.
But now what you got is like the whole skyline. If you're driving on A1A, which is like right on the ocean, that's like the main drag, like along the ocean, the hotels and shit. Mm-hmm. They've knocked down like all the old crappier hotels and they're just like building $1 million.
Yeah, because there's like
condos.
There's room right now, but a lot of people are visiting the state or whatever.
Yeah,
so
it's like one of those things. Me and Marv like shit. We got to buy something in the next 5 years because it's on the up.
Well,
like
the whole
hard.
state, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's bleeding into like those types of neighborhoods and everything too.
Well, you know, I think people are just looking at it like, yo, this property is worth so fucking much. Like we can't have it like falling into any kind of disrepair.
Yeah, and you see that in like cycles, right? Like think of Asbury Park, New Jersey.
That's like, exactly. That's like Daytona was not that lit. You know what I mean?
Asbury Park, from what I hear, used to be
lit.
Like,
it was like kind of dangerous, like you know. But yeah, so it's like pretty. And then, but it's funny. What the great thing about it is, this is the greatest. This is what I love about it. I almost don't want it to get all the way cleaned up, like perfect, because
you don't want something totally cleaned up. No, get out of town.
I'll break it down for you.
No, I know, right? Because this is funny because like you always talk to me about, of course, is like liking the.
I like the grit.
You like the grit. Like this is a guy I'm talking to right here who like, you know, I've traveled with, and you know, you're drifting off into like the hood or something. You know, you used to tell me you like the smell of the hood. Like,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that might be a direct
drive
quote.
Around. Yeah, no, I used to drive around. Like when my life got like too good, I would like drive on 1 and 9 through like Newark and just like roll my windows.
I know this is what I'm saying,
and just like smell and hear the sounds of the hood, like chicken heads fighting and crackheads scurrying, and little burning tires.
I remember you told me that was like comforting, like, you know,
in a way, you know what I mean.
So it's you know, you're like when you tell me, you know, I don't want them to clean it up too much. It's like that's not something surprising to me.
No, it would, but the main reason
but break it down, because
so this is so if you look at like, so I work in Orlando currently, right?
Okay.
Now Orlando, Tampa, Miami, the rents have like doubled.
Yeah, because those are like the areas you think of when people like move to Florida.
But even some of the other beach towns, right? They've like doubled,
like
right?
That's
Daytona, NASCAR, Bike Week, and Truck Week keeps all the people that are coming from New York or California.
Out.
They're like, nah, I don't think I could handle that. So it's almost like a protective force, because all the towns around it, like New Smyrna Beach, Ormond Beach, Flagler, like all those towns, it is fucking beautiful.
And they're just like regular towns, what you're saying. They're not full of transplants.
Dude, like John D. Rockefeller owned a mansion, and that's where he died, is in Ormond Beach, where I live. It's like literally beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
but like from what I understand, like local, not so like they're not full of transplants, because transplants think to go to like the cities you mentioned before, like Orlando.
They go to Tampa, they go to St. Pete, they go to Orlando, they go to
Miami,
you know what I mean?
Maybe.
But I mean,
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I'm only 45 minutes from Orlando.
Sure.
So it's
you're 45 minutes east.
East, yeah.
Yeah, on the coast.
On the coast, yeah.
But like lateral to it.
More or less, I think I'm slightly north. I think
okay,
something like that. but more or less like straight shot east.
Yeah, I don't know that. Florida's a state, and I like geography, and I always just like spend a lot of time looking at maps.
Well, it almost makes it like I do too.
And now I got to really look at the map of Florida. I have before, but I haven't in a while.
It makes me like know like what I might be getting into wherever I'm going to drive.
I do that everywhere I go. So if I go
Yeah.
to a new city, I literally like Miriam would be like, "How'd you know that was over there?" And I'm like, "Oh, because I knew the river runs through it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, the north of the river, it's this. And like, I'll even get up in there on like Google Maps. Like I'll be driving around.
Yeah.
So sometimes I already know what I'm getting into. And I like to have that. I feel like that's like almost like an awareness skill or like a
Yeah.
survival tactic or just good to know.
Well, I'm just not trying to get caught slipping.
That's it. You know what I mean?
That's
So like
okay. So when I get out of my car, whenever I arrive at my destination, I need to know how I'm going to move.
well, I agree.
Right? Like what kind of how am I carrying myself? Is my guard going to be down? Like am I going to be chilling? Like when I go to Wynwood, I'm chill. Like no zero.
Right.
I'm not stressing at all. Right.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I actually like when I'm walking somewhere that I'm unfamiliar with, I try to memorize the directions.
Yeah.
I don't, when you see people just walking like holding Google Maps and like looking around at street signs, it's like, hey, you're just looking to get robbed.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that just might be like a travel smart or street smart or just not being a dumbass.
Well, I think it's just like coming from New Jersey and New York City, like
Yeah.
So like New Jersey's like I think the best example of like where you can get caught slipping, because like literally you can be buying like a Banana Republic T-shirt and like a fucking Starbucks, right? And then like be fucking with your radio, looking down. All of a sudden you're in Patterson,
Exactly.
and you're like, what the fuck, dude? Or like you're in Westfield, New Jersey. All of a sudden you're in Plainfield or Elizabeth, and like it happened fast,
Right.
and you're like, oh, what the fuck? Dude?
I think I just like to know where I'm going whenever I'm walking, because then I could walk with conviction, which doesn't give the energy of like being soft or being ready to be robbed. Essentially. Because I always think like if I was someone who was gonna rob or take advantage of somebody,
I want someone looking aloof.
yeah.
I mean, I have robbed people, dog. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would look for.
So tell me about that.
All right, so. What, like robbing drug dealers or like robbing people?
I don't know. I never robbed anyone, so I'm just curious.
Oh, okay. Like robbing people. I had this thing that I would do, and I knew that there was like a lot of rich people that would like walk their dogs by Gramercy Park.
Right.
At like, the evening time, dogs got to piss a little late at night, and it's like not a lot of light over there.
Yeah.
So I would have like a switchblade, and I would just roll up on a fool, and he's got one hand distracted with the dog, and I would just give it up.
And what would you just take a wallet or something like that?
I wouldn't even
Cash?
usually take the wallet, but give me the money that's in there. This is when people carried cash like a long time ago.
Sure.
And then I would like go get high or something.
So that was like the way.
Yeah.
And now let me ask you. I'm assuming you didn't have intentions to hurt somebody.
No,
was more
but
just you want
but
that
if
money.
someone like got at me, I was ready to stab.
ready.
I
Yeah,
was
because
ready.
you're not
But it
thinking-
never like went there. That's why I went to Gramercy. I didn't try to rob people in the Bronx.
Yeah, because they might fight back more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, they might kill me.
Yeah.
I'm soft to them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
See, I think that's why
I played soccer and shit.
I like
I'm,
living in a place like Texas, because I feel like even if like a grandmother might have a revolver in that purse, you know what I'm saying?
that pearl handle 22 she's got, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And you don't want to take a 22 shot, you know what I'm saying? Because it might not even kill you.
No, it'll just make you suffer.
And then you
what I mean?
might die anyway.
Yeah, like some kind of like weird sepsis infection, dog. You know what I mean?
It's
Or
like
like
worse.
a slow internal bleed. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like a pinball just rattling around inside you.
Yeah,
you
it'll
know?
just
yeah, just lit.
you're gonna take like you're gonna get a dome injury and just lay and bleed out on Cesar Chavez. You know what I'm saying?
trying not to cough. The allergies. That was funny. I almost lost
the
it.
allergies here are no fucking joke. Let's talk about that.
Oh
Jesus.
man, yeah. So
I'm on 3 types of allergy medicine
bro,
right
I'm
now.
on antibiotics. I got a double ear infection from the allergies.
Yeah.
And I've been hacking all week. The other day, I sounded like Joey Diaz and Alex Jones fucked and had a baby that swallowed lit cigarettes.
I'm
dude.
not even gonna lie, I kind of liked it. You sounded wise.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
I liked it too.
When I heard you telling a story, I felt like you were like Beowulf over there, like just like
yeah,
you were
yeah.
like murmuring
I felt
poetry.
Like I felt like I did, yeah.
you told stories like this. Like,
fucking
Yeah.
So yeah.
I thought like it aged you 30 years. Like I was like I was listening to an old wise man with a cane.
I hope I can keep that perception up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie. Like when you lost the voice, you lost the perception a little bit, but like it almost embedded some of it in the memory for me. Like
it'll give you it gave you a glimpse of what my future looks like.
Yes, and it's like I could just never forget. Like it almost made me respect you more, honestly, because I know like what you're gonna be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know where it's going, dog. You know what I mean? You know where it's going, dude.
Yeah,
right?
and I saw it with like when little Eli visited and was like hanging over you, asking you like, oh, so when you pack that color, like, are you doing this and that? And you had the voice.
Yeah,
you were like. Yeah, you see here, I'm moving small circles at the right pace. Like, and like I was like, damn, like even I felt like I was like learning something, even though I thought I already knew what you were telling.
You did know. You might even told me that.
Yeah, but I learned like more from it just because of the voice.
It's like when Tommy Lee Jones will narrate something.
Yeah,
you feel like a different connect, or like if Morgan Freeman narrates it, like he could be telling you crazy shit. Like Morgan Freeman or Tommy Lee Jones narrating something, they could be like, well, you know, you just got to take your dick and put it in a blender. And then poke your eye out, and then you'll never get cancer. And I'd be like, man, it sounds right. Yeah, it sounds like that's the way to do it.
That's what it was. Like I was, in fact, I was a little bit upset when you like got prescription cough medicine and your voice came back.
I know. It almost started to lose it again yesterday a little bit, and then it was fine.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was a little bummed too.
I feel like if you ever like,
because it'd be cool if I could like do all different podcasts and I sound different on every one. Too.
Yeah. That would be cool. I
mean,
an
enigma. Like, who is this fucking guy?
You were like, yeah, it was crazy. You're like over there just like talking like, and you had because it was like the volume was lower because you couldn't talk, that you like, it forced me to listen, you know?
Yeah. It almost made you like quiet yourself and like, you know what
I mean? I lowered the music a couple times so I could hear the rest of your story.
This fool's dropping jewels over here like a careless thief. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm saying, dude? But, yeah, the allergies are pretty lit, dude. You know
but in Florida too. It was everywhere.
It was the same. Like
this is the allergy season.
Yeah, I think it's like the whole Southeast. I think North Carolina down right now is lit up
because they're different than the Northeast. In fact, for me, I like the allergies here better,
dude. Way better than Delaware.
Well, Northeast, I get like splitting headaches. It's something like, but here it just feels like allergies that you could identify. Like, okay, I have a,
like you know, it's the grass pollen.
Yeah, right? I could feel I could feel sand in my eyes, and my throat is scratchy, and I feel a little like I'm in like a beehive or something. You know, but in like New Jersey, it was like, do I have a brain tumor or I have allergies? Because it would just hurt my head.
Am I gonna fucking fall out right now? You know what I mean? Like, is this?
I'd be like, is this even allergies? You know, or is it just like pain?
Yeah.
Or did I just not get enough water?
I would get the hella boogers in Jersey, New York, like where I'd have to actually cancel work because it's like unsanitary.
Because you just had like boogers falling out.
Yeah, bro. Like they would eat like so much boogers that it would like make if I wore a mask, it would be wet.
Yeah.
And then that's disgusting.
Yeah. It's like you're doing a tattoo and it looks like you just like put grated cheese on top of boogers.
Yeah, boogers.
Yeah, just falling
And
out.
everybody's catching lawsuits.
Raining.
Yeah, all day.
Raining, hailing boogers.
All day,
like,
yeah. It was lit. And like my eyes,
like the guy at the Olive Garden that asked you like it's enough.
Yeah. Always like, well, they have like a little thing on the side, right?
Yeah. You're just over there like fanning boogers around.
Yeah.
Like, so you got to cancel, like rightfully so.
Yeah. But like here, you could like thug it out a little bit. You just like I would warn all my customers this past week, like, look, dog, I'm not contagious. I've been tested for COVID, flu, strep, everything.
Yeah.
This is literally because plants are just jerking off into the sky and fucking me up, dude.
Yeah.
They're just busting nuts.
Imagine that, like a plant, the way it comes into the sky and then it has to just like rely on fate for it to land into the pussy.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like dark
fish
magic.
do that too. Yeah, they're like.
Is that what fish do?
A lot of
they
them.
They just come in the water.
They like you'll see them like they'll bust into like a school.
Yeah.
And they'll just like blast off a bunch of semen into the ocean, and then like the bitches will come by and like blast eggs at that, and then they all dip. Like no parental responsibility.
Think about that. They're doing that all while in school.
Yeah.
Fish's life. They just go to school and bust in the water, and then bitches open up their snatch and just like.
Yeah, they just like a banana clip of eggs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's like what's happening.
Yeah, like a semi-automatic.
Yeah,
pop,
all
pop,
day.
Pop, pop, pop.
All day.
And then some other bitch got a tax stamp, so she's just out there going.
Yo, for real, dude.
She had to hit up the ATF real quick and like
real fast.
Yeah,
real fast.
Yeah,
early. The
that's crazy. That's like magic. Think about that, and then think about like that plant might have been born because another like a bird landed on a seed
and took a shit. Yeah.
Yeah, or ate the seed and then
shit it
flew
out.
somewhere else and
shit it in a whole nother area.
Yeah, and then that thing
Yeah.
just grew from earth and like the sun was shining.
And the plants know to rely on that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
like
we
flowers,
like to think
like rely on like bees, hummingbirds, shit like that. Like they literally wouldn't even be able to reproduce like without those animals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they like will go extinct.
Well, that's like how they evolved on that
Yeah.
path. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, think about how the flowers rely on the bees.
Yeah.
But then
And the bees rely on them.
and then we rely on the bees.
Yeah, we gank them.
It's like all connected.
Yeah, we just rob them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just like fuck them up.
China
and steal.
got those. They got those like little mechanical drone bees.
That's insane. And honestly, like it. Well, I know it's insane, but like it almost actually, like, is it that insane? Like considering what else we can do technological, like
look, dog. If that's that we know about, they got more insane.
This is my point. Like
Yeah, they got
that
way more insane.
That almost seems like that would be like really high techly amazing in like the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I'm saying, like nowadays, like to me, that's probably like old ass technology even.
If we're seeing it, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, because like even like with the AI stuff, they're like, man, this shit is getting crazy. I'm like, you don't think that the CCP and our government have some other version that's already probably like sentient? You know what I mean? Like you don't think they got that?
Or at least just something we don't know about yet. At the very
minimum. Like, or it went in a different direction hard.
Yeah.
You know, there's something. You know,
hey, look, Chat GTP is really developing. It's like, like
pretty sure like on a base somewhere there's something way more insane.
Way more insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like China was like trying to make an artificial sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what? Dude?
Exactly.
You know, and that's what we know about. They probably got something else that's way crazy.
Yeah, of course.
I can't even comprehend. You know,
absolutely.
What I mean? Yeah, bananas.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the bee, that's almost like caveman of like. Yeah, I mean, it's just like
that's like something fun you could like tell your kids about.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, Leo, you know, they got those fucking.
Because if they could make a drone, they could just make a mini drone.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Yeah, and just pollinate these fucking flowers, dog. You know.
Oh, they're doing it. Oh, you're saying
that's why they're doing it.
You're
because
saying
like
they're like
bee colony collapse. That's why they.
So they're making like multiple. Oh, I thought you were just saying like drone technology that's small. So you're saying they're literally trying to have these things and they operate on their own, or someone's mandating.
I'm sure they're being managed,
but probably in a group, like not individually. Per se.
They're probably like a hive.
Like here, we're gonna release 100 of these fake.
Little and they probably have like a
essentially.
mission, or they're like
and they land them on flowers or near flowers and all that shit.
Yeah.
Or I wonder if they just like almost artificially inseminate them with that pollen.
They could do that too.
And then they just go like blanket spray it.
Yeah.
But then you wonder like if they're out there with something like that kind of technology to pollinate flowers, is that really all they're using it for?
No, probably not.
Right.
I think anytime that they make something at first, the first application is military.
Yeah, well, usually.
Then it becomes like...
That's how the internet, they say, was invented,
even
right?
nuclear technology. They made it for a bomb first. Then they were like,
we
could probably like power a plant with this. You know what I mean? Like,
all this stuff. Cell phone technology, right?
Yeah.
Weaponry.
I mean, like if you look at like...
intelligence.
The biggest come up in technology was at the start of the Civil War through World War II.
And what was that?
Well, there was like in order for the North to beat the South in the Civil War, right? Like they had to make just technology more rapid. They started making their first semi-submarines. The firearms started to get better. You know, you started seeing like real rifling and this sort of shit like in them days.
Well,
And then by the time you hit World War I, you got tanks, you've got gas, you've got fucking... You know, they started World War I on horseback.
When was like, was it Blitzkrieg? Was that like...
That was Hitler.
But that was World War II.
Yeah.
With the tank. That was the fast-moving warfare.
Yeah, that was his plan, like to just come in and shock the system and catch you slipping.
What tank was that?
Well, they had the Tiger tanks and the Panzers. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
Dimitri's obsessed with the tanks. He can tell you.
Okay.
More about
and
that.
I know. I just know about it like in a very.
I'm not sure
broad,
which came first.
but I know that those fast tanks.
Yeah,
and
that was
some
like
history nerd is gonna be.
Yeah,
I mean,
he'll
you are
probably-
generally a history nerd, but that's like a more specific topic.
Yeah, that's someone that like.
You blanket a lot of history. I feel that's like you're not. You
I'm
you
like
don't know about the
obsessed with it.
tanks like that.
Yeah,
I don't
might
either.
know
I
about
should.
some. I know about the general.
Yeah.
Broad strokes of each one of those sort of things. You know?
Sure. But I know that anyway, it is irrelevant, but I know that there was a tank that was invented that was like a breakthrough for the speed.
Yeah,
or
they would
whatever.
crush through, and then they would give all the soldiers like methamphetamine so they would just stay marching.
Yeah, it's interesting. And well, go back to what you said before about how things were invented for the military. That's another was another advancement.
Yeah.
Literally, right?
Well, the whole idea, what happened.
LSD, right?
Yeah. Well, that came a little later. That was that they were attempting to do like they were going to try to use LSD for like making people into like Manchurian candidates, like controllable like operatives and like this sort of thing. They thought they could like do like an inception of like thoughts into their mind and like make these people, but really just found out they were like having a good time.
Well, we could probably go on a 5-hour tangent about LSD and its uses, especially like some of the like MK Ultra type stuff.
Yeah.
But to before we go there, to bring it back to the military weapon advancements, I just think it's cool as like something is invented, it like changes the whole course of like essentially humanity.
History, yeah.
Think about the invention of one of my favorite weapons, the AK-47.
Yeah.
It's like that was like that's why I'm so obsessed with it. It's like literally probably the biggest invention in my opinion.
Well, you could you could throw that shit in mud and
a simple, effective rifle
doesn't break
that barely needs to be maintained.
Like I don't think it even needs to be
pretty
maintained.
cheap to produce.
Yeah.
And like so that it just and then that's what sparked the invention of the M16
as the counter to
that.
Yeah.
But it's more accurate,
Yeah.
But
I don't think Kalashnikovs are like very accurate.
They're less accurate, more stopping power than like a 5.56 round.
Yeah, that's a spray. That's like a spray type jump.
Well, the ammo's heavier.
I gotcha.
But the thing is, it's like a 5.56 or 2.23 is like what the M16 shoots.
Yeah.
But it's a little more zippier and more penetration. But the gun is a little more finicky. So like the way I like to say it is like the AK is like your side bitch that's down to fuck.
All the time.
She'll come over at night,
anytime,
slob you off, don't matter.
And leave and not say nothing.
And not even care.
Yeah.
And be like almost into that
not even
relationship.
clean it off the chin.
Yeah, and just like that's like a cool like thing. But with the M16 or like now the M4 or whatever, it's like, you gotta
that's your girlfriend.
Yeah, you gotta go out to dinner, you know
gotta take her out.
Maybe see a
Valentine's
movie.
Day gets important. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. Yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
You gotta get a card.
Yeah. At minimum, you gotta like draw one.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that actually carries more weight.
A lot more weight.
A lot more
weight. I know when I used to give my mom like a card from Hallmark,
they'd be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but when I used to just fold a piece of construction paper in my room right before I came downstairs to give it to her.
That one was
Make her cry.
more valuable. Yeah.
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 Even though like it actually cost me more time to go get the Hallmark card.
And like money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, time is money, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so, dog. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think time is like the biggest currency for me right now.
Yeah, actually, time is more than well, I guess you can break that quote down in a few ways.
Yeah.
Because I always looked at it like during this time I could be making money, but that's more of like this hustler mentality, which I don't tend to have anymore.
That's dead to me.
I just look at it as like my time is a currency, literally in the sense that I need it to divide it how I'm going to spend it.
I only get so much.
Yeah.
I got a ration of time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And even if that's like
money's like a renewable resource.
It is, yeah.
And
it's very renewable.
Yeah. You could be broke and then not in a year.
If you're not a dumbass, you could just generate. You could essentially just make it. You could make money.
Yeah. I mean, that's like what we do. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I can't get any more time.
No, you can't.
No.
And
like I got stuff that like the time's mad valuable, like like I have 3 kids, I got a wife, I got,
And the older you get, like the more that time becomes like very valuable.
Yeah.
I can't even lie about it anymore. Like if I need to be doing something and I'm in a situation that I don't want to be anymore, like I literally look like I just got hit in the face with a shovel.
Yeah.
Like I'll get tired and angry. Like I need to be somewhere else and do something else.
Yeah.
Like it's like you start valuing your time more than anything.
Well, I think that moving away from the Northeast like made me appreciate that. Right. Okay. So, like when you live in the greater New York, New Jersey sprawl there, right?
Mm-hmm. In hell.
Everybody, more or less. Everybody is whipping around really fast, and it is all that hustler mentality. Like, but you're not noticing that you don't really see like a lot of nature. Mm-hmm. You don't see any of those things that make you like slow down and like appreciate that like life is all right.
You're just in the thick.
You're in the thick of it, right?
You forget that there even is trees and shit sometimes.
Yeah, and you almost like think it's like whacked.
It's kind of sad. You see someone walking their dog in New York and they're taking a piss on like a 1 by 1 foot square of artificial grass.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You're not even like really, like if you live in like Manhattan, right? Like you don't ever actually touch like actual Earth. It's all like
Yeah.
everything's all like a fake.
And I think when you're in
construct,
that, you like, we like to think like our ego as people likes to think like, I don't, you always hear that, like, connect with nature, recharge. And you're like, yeah, all right. Like, yeah, sure. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me, but it does. And then I think the further you get from it, the more that you don't realize, like, you just get lost in it.
Well, I've noticed that people that live in, like I'll give you a perfect example. Like, if you just go walk around my neighborhood, people are not angry.
Same.
Or like
with me.
not, your neighborhood, they're chilling. They're barbecuing,
washing their car, they're hanging out. I go down to the coffee truck.
The cats are taking a walk on the beach by me.
Yeah.
Like, like I'll find myself finding it like really hard to be like staying pissed off. Cause I'm like, the fucking sky is blue. There's palm trees out. Like, what am I even doing?
Yeah.
Like, maybe I need to go sit at the beach and put my feet in the water for a second.
And you wonder if that's like an age thing with you, or like a maturity level thing.
Could be.
Or it could be. I think it's connected. I think that's like goes together. Yeah. Like when you reach that part that in your brain, when you get to that point in life where that's what you like yearn for, then you either go get that, or you go get that and then you get into that mind frame. Like, I wonder what comes first. I guess it's
chicken or the egg.
Yeah, it's like a chicken or the egg. But is it? But that's how everything works, I guess, right?
Yeah,
it's like as within, so without.
Yeah. Well, also too, I think like when you're younger, you like want to prove yourself, right? And then as you like crawl, like I think once you hit over 35 is like a mile marker in which that you're like, I don't really need to do that. Like,
yeah, you're like, who?
Like,
wait,
like,
who matters here, me or everyone else?
Or what they think about what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, and I started to even have that feeling. Dennis Sivak actually is the one that gave me my first glimpse of the awakening.
Right? And how so? Yeah.
So we were at the Philly convention, and it's like one of the first shows I did with Dennis, and I was doing a Ninja Turtle portrait. And that was, that was popular, like doing a really nice, cool color portrait.
Yeah, I remember the
You remember this show?
Yeah, I was there.
You helped me take the video, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I think you took it on my phone.
I did, and I used your like light setup.
It's still in my iCloud.
Probably is.
Yeah.
And I remember Dennis was like, "Yo, like you need to enter this, like this is sick." And I was like, "Well, why? Like you just gave me a better review than the guy who's going to give me the award. Like that guy doesn't even tattoo."
Yeah.
Like you and Phil Garcia and his wife all just came over here and told me it was the shit. And TJ Poole just high-fived the fuck. I mean, that's better than a trophy to me.
Right.
And then that's when I started really like questioning all like, what am I even doing? Like I'm standing online at this convention, blotting my client, they're dying. They just got murked out for 2 days. They're bleeding.
You're standing next to him like a dumbass with a fucking rubber glove on, wiping
them and shit, dude.
Waiting for some like carny to judge it.
Yeah. Some fucking dude that was just hanging from hooks and shit, dude. Like, never tattooed a day in his life.
Guy was just
is gonna tell me what I'm worth, dude.
Guy was just fucking breathing fire 3 minutes ago. Now he's gonna like tell you about your life's work.
Unicycle and juggling 10 minutes ago, and now he's like, yeah, my life's work is being get the fuck out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Miss me with that fucking.
Guy was just juggling a couple bowling pins over there, and now he's gonna tell you about your shading.
100%, dude. You know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out of here, dog. You know what I mean? Like. I started like realizing it then, right? And then I started also like taking a look at some stuff, right? And I was like, I got myself in like a little bit of trouble, I guess you'd say, with like the media outlets for tattooing, like your big name magazines. I won't like drop any names or whatever, but I did like a live like a year ago or something. I was like sitting in my backyard and I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, you just listening to so-and-so magazine, their Instagram, like that's dictating like what you're going to get tattooed.
Yeah.
Like, do you really, like, does like a white chick with a Native American headdress really like get your rocks off? Like, that's what you're about?
Is that who you are?
And like, this owl with the pocket watch, that's you? That's you for real? That's you, dog? Like, I don't think so, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that got like some cats like a little pissed at me because I kind of like said some
But
particular.
what do you mean? But I
Like
mean,
I said, a couple magazines like by name.
oh, okay.
Yeah. I just didn't give a fuck anymore, dude. You know, because I'm like, this is crazy.
Well, you're just
like,
kind of
there's
calling
no,
it as you see it, right?
Yeah, like there's, you know, like, okay, so you're gonna pay me $2,000 to $4,000, right, in a recession, and you're not even gonna get something that's like you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
My hope is that like the person who's getting tattooed from me is already in alignment with me. So they're almost getting you, but it's them.
Well, those are the clients that
sense.
usually, those are the clients. That's like an art, when you buy a painting off somebody, right?
Right. It's
like
it's a painting that the artist's work already resonates with you.
Yeah.
So their style is like what you, because like unless you're an artist yourself, now you just enjoy the art.
Yeah.
So that's the art that aligns with your soul.
Yeah.
Is you're speaking to their soul via your soul.
I'm talking about the people who see your art, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it obviously, like, if you're emailing me, dog, like,
I would hope
like,
at the very minimum, at least
you're
like
not like a
what you do.
regular cat, right? You're probably not like a normal, regular ass dude, right?
Well, maybe they could just
maybe
be,
you are,
maybe,
you know?
but maybe just a normal, regular dude who just like enjoys your art.
No, but there's like something that I'm putting out that hits you, right?
Sure.
But then
I hope.
you're gonna see all this stuff on my page that certainly looks a certain direction, right?
Yeah.
But then you're gonna ask me for like a lion with a crown. Like, that's not what you saw that made you want to email, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and I think that I spent a lot of time obviously thinking about this probably since I started doing this shit, like obviously.
Yeah.
But that's I almost feel like it's like asking it's someone just doesn't know themselves in a sense, right?
Well, when you're picking something like that, right? What I get from it is that you like what I'm doing, but you're afraid your homies or your girlfriend or your mom and dad won't approve of that. So you're gonna have me do a safe thing,
Right.
so that you can get approval from
Everyone else.
But
let's bridge this back to what we were saying before, and I think this is how this conversation might have started somewhere back
in the ether,
where we were talking about not like caring so much anymore. When you started telling me that story about when you were in Philly and you got the approval from everyone, like your peers that you respected, as opposed to like some judge who you were disconnected from.
Yeah.
So it's like this is the same kind of example, right?
Yeah.
Like essentially,
You
what are your motives?
Yeah, like if you're getting the tattoo, you need to be like in self-approval.
Right. The problem is, though, as I could empathize only in the sense that at one point in your life or my own life, you were subconsciously doing this maybe about other things.
Oh, for sure. Everyone does it.
Right. So I think it's like one of those things, once you realize it in yourself, then it becomes more evident in others.
Everywhere.
And I think we were kind of talking about this before.
Yeah.
And I think it's for any kind of personal breakthrough you have, once you see it, then you can't unsee it.
It's like once you buy a Hyundai, you notice how
Yes.
many Hyundais are on the road.
Yeah,
right?
and then that happens with personal development type
100%.
shit. So then but then I almost feel like at first you get like a little angry about it because you're
it's like when you
because you didn't fully shake it from yourself yet.
Yeah,
but
so
you're aware of it now. So
you're like mad at yourself for like,
doing that, and then
yeah.
eventually you make peace with that.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like you could be next to someone like who's still in that and kind of just laugh about it.
It's like when people become awakened to the fact that like maybe you're a politician or corporation that you like thought was doing good, then you realize like, oh, wait a second, these guys are like kind of fucked up,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then you have that, and then you're like, you want to shout it from the rooftop and tell her, but the cat that's been awake for like 10 years, like he's just chilling. He's not trying to convince.
This is why I try to like, and this is my new thing that I'm kind of working on is like almost having a little bit of empathy, because think about like the angry vegan who's like forcing you to like, or making you feel bad about eating meat or something like that. You're not winning me over.
No, you actually make me want to eat more meat.
I'll literally order a rack of ribs while I sit next to you.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't want them.
Yeah,
Even if I was in the mood for a salad, I'm getting ribs.
You pushed me to meat, yeah.
Right. So I think with that same thing, almost the way to aid in like the collective consciousness of humanity
is to not be forceful.
Yeah, so like that's why I feel like to go back to the example you were talking about, even with like a politician, like we know what it is, like you know, it's like pretty easy to see when
it's not
when your eyes are open,
mystery.
It's hard to shut them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've seen it throughout history, right?
Yeah.
But some people are out here still buying the fucking yellow journalism. You know what I mean? They're out here just getting like propagated real quick,
Yeah, I mean, like, like if you don't see what's going on with something,
especially like currently.
Like, look, dog, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, you might actually push someone the other way because you'll trigger like their defensiveness, right?
Exactly.
So like, you actually might make someone go deeper back to sleep.
I think we're seeing that a lot.
Yeah.
I think that might even be the strategy of turning people against each other.
Is to create this resistance instead of unification, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the more people clash with each other, the more defensive they get. It's like that team tribal mentality, literally.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why like every issue right now is like amplified.
Exactly.
Like white versus black, gay versus straight, fucking trans versus non-trans. Like it's amplified now. But whenever that's going on, all you got to do is like look around like what's really going on. Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're sending tanks to Ukraine, dog. Like this shit could pop off. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like you look at shit like that and you're like, okay. So if they have us worried about Bud Light, what's really popping?
Yeah,
right?
what's looming behind?
Because that's a distraction. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's like that's a distraction.
And even just to pull it back a step or two, like not even just people that are getting distracted, but like I'm a little bit sometimes most worried about people who believe that any of these, elite people are on their side, that's like almost delusional to me. Like, your government doesn't care about you, like to put things kind of in layman's terms.
Yeah. They're like CEOs of a corporation.
They're not coming to get you. They're literally people who have one agenda, and it's money.
Yeah.
That didn't change.
No, it's been that way forever.
But it seems like they're leaning more into now, like, oh, we're here to help you. And like, we'll provide like, social assistance or like whatever. Like, no, they really just don't care about you.
They just want to get elected again. They make more money.
They don't even hate you. They just don't care about you either way.
Yeah.
It's money signs. It's literally corporations.
Yeah. 100%, dude.
Yeah.
100%.
Lobbying for people to represent them. And they give them, hey, take a little of this and do what I say. And then that's just by design. It's almost just human nature in a way.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's why I think like some of the ideologies that sound like super good on paper, like they just don't work in practice because like you're discounting
human nature.
The nature. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're discounting the fact that like the dude that runs a town he's eventually not going to be happy making the same money as the guy who sweeps the floor.
Well, think about this. Say you own a coffee roastery.
Right.
And I own a private school in my town. And we want to provide, or not coffee, you own a luncheonette and you make food.
Right.
And I own like a school or a big office building in my town that the government officials work at, and there's a school attached or whatever. And then I'm like going to do a luncheon, like feed everyone.
I want that contract.
And you're my homie, you're probably going to get that contract
all day.
But now, like, I gave you that contract. But now, like, when I have my personal barbecue at home, I might hit you up and like I might expect you not to charge me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just on like a little level,
small level.
Like I've seen that.
So imagine that on like an international.
But that
level.
just goes all the way up.
All the way up.
Yeah. That's just and that's the flaw. Like we were saying, like something might sound so grandiose and amazing and on paper, and then it's like, you start mixing that human nature in, which honestly on a small level almost makes sense, right? Yeah. Like if you were to like, provide me with like a place to stay for 2 months while I'm trying to get on my feet.
Yeah.
Say I moved to where you live and I'm like, you like put me up, fed me for 2 months.
Yeah.
And then like later on, you need a hand with something. Like, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Not help you?
No, that would be fucked.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's almost like nature.
That's
it
it is, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, even like with animals, like they want to have more food than the other fox or whatever, right? Like,
right.
That's why they fight over territory.
And it literally goes, it's almost like the string theory in a sense, like, or whatever of this, like it just goes down to like literally the most basic level. Like, hey, I need food to survive.
Yeah.
I need water. I need resources. Yeah. Well, what am I going to do? Have less of it?
Yeah.
I want to have more.
I want to have.
If you can help
surplus.
If you can help me get it, then I'm going to include you in that circle.
If you're going to hinder me getting it, I'm going to like make sure that you're never in the circle.
Right. I think our obsession with like wealth and stuff is probably just tied closely to our human nature and evolutionary
to food and shelter. Yeah.
Yeah. And survival.
Yeah.
Which is food and shelter.
Well, it's like if you're like, okay, say we're going back to like BC, right? Mm-hmm. We're some hominids or something, right? And I'm in a group, right? And we're settled in this kind of area that's like, we're like quickly finding out like, fuck, the water's running out. There's not many animals, right?
Right, which means not much to eat.
Not much to eat, right? Maybe there's not a lot of chicks. It's all dudes, right?
Not a lot of berries.
And I look over the other valley, and them motherfuckers got it going on. They got, it looks like the Garden of Eden over there. Well, eventually, there's two things that will happen. Either I'll try to go over there and join them peacefully, or I'm going to take their shit and eliminate them. That's like the basis of war. Of everything, right? Yeah.
But, and that's my gripe sometimes when people are like I try to look at things, and I think I had this gift since I'm a kid. Like, I always try to look at things objectively, like deep down in my soul.
Yeah.
So like, as much as I would like to agree with the next guy, like war is terrible. And of course it is, you know, like the people getting killed or innocent children.
Yeah, no, I don't support wars, but I know they're going to happen.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Of course I don't support wars. I like the things that happen to the people who live there or whatever. Like, it's horrible. I would not want that to happen to me or whatever.
Yeah.
But I understand, like you said, it's going to happen because you just broke down the nature of it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you guys have a resource. So,
or like, you even look at our current climate, right? Like, so China, Russia, India, like the BRICS system or whatever, like they saw the West kind of slipping. And they're like, might be our time to get some resources, bro. Do our own thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's like what's going on right now.
And it would be nice to say, cool, why don't we just share it with them?
But that's not human nature.
That's what I mean. Like, it's just because like what we broke down earlier.
Yeah.
And,
like,
and
you'd
that's,
have to do like another million years of evolving to get to that point.
We're almost like literally not evolved there yet.
No, definitely not.
We were just talking about people who can't even be like certain on a decision that they were going to make about like getting a tattoo that wasn't for other people's approval.
Yeah.
So until that, the majority of people aren't caught up on little things like that in themselves. How can you expect collectively for humans to operate in such a way?
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Dude. You know, and then you put in other factors too, like even a dude that's a good dude, put him down in his luck and put him on drugs or alcohol. That's not even the same dude.
It's literally not.
And the motivations are totally different. He's going to behave differently. So then you inject that into the thing. That's a whole nother thing, right? And then then there's like, you know, everyone's.
But I think that the like in its basic form, addiction or something like that guy who you just described would be, I think, someone who's identifying so deeply with their own ego and fears
their own pain,
their own pain that they're literally trying to mask it, right?
Yeah, well, they're trying not to feel it. I can speak from like for sure.
Yeah.
Example, like, you know, like when me and my wife weren't having problems and everything was all good, I didn't drink.
Right.
You know what I mean? When we were having problems, I started drinking.
Because you just wanted to escape.
Because I couldn't believe that that it might not be working out with the woman of my dreams, like the girl, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't want to feel this. Dude.
Yeah,
this
let's
feels
just
terrible.
run from that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just hide from it real quick. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like, you know, or a lot of times it's the unwillingness to like work on the things about you that are uncomfortable.
I think that's a big part of it.
Big part of it. You know
I
what
think
mean?
you see that in all aspects of life. And I think that's kind of what I was saying. Like, yeah, exactly that. So like, I think war is that on like a large scale.
Mega scale.
Yeah, mega scale. Like maybe the ultimate scale.
Yeah, that's what like Tole talks about in the beginning of the
A New Earth.
Yeah, when he's talking about like it's like the collective madness.
Yeah,
which is like like extrapolated beyond, or like a mob mentality. Like you take in 2020, or you take like cats behaving on January 6th, or you take the riots, right? Like the individual person is not even capable of doing that.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
But
like literally
not. Like they're not going to burn down a fucking Target.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like put them in a group of cats that are all feeling some kind of angst, dude. They're going to burn mad Targets the fuck.
Yeah,
down,
it's like groupthink.
Yeah. You almost like recede below your normal levels of empathy and whatever else.
Well, I think that back to the example before, like getting this tattoo to get like my friends and brother-in-law's approval as opposed to my own.
Yeah.
I think it's very hard for people to let that go.
Yeah.
So then if it's like, hey, I see this guy burning the Target, you know what I mean? And it's like, cool, I want to make sure he knows
that I'm with that.
That I'm with that.
Yeah.
So then it's like there's almost something like that humans like about that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and I wonder
100%.
what that. I mean, is that just like a egoic? Is that like the egoic mind winning
Probably.
and the lack of like trust in the self?
Yeah.
So it manifests in like joining
Yeah, joining something. I mean, like that's probably why people join gangs
I was
or
just
the
thinking
clan or whatever.
or
you know?
anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's not secure out here. This group will give me some security
Sure.
and approval.
Like
and
literal
have my
security.
back. Like literal security.
And I think that might be to link back to like survival,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or do you think that it's like, would that be someone's nature initially, you think? Or do you think that that's because they get like wedged away from themselves circumstantially and then they wind up joining a group to then fulfill that? Or do you think that if they were like just raised completely like perfectly, they probably wouldn't be that way? Well, I don't even, what is raised perfectly anyway? What does that
I
even
don't know
mean?
that there is that.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah, it's a
mean?
good
Like,
question,
you know, because the perfect is like different for everybody, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like perfect might propose more problems because sometimes via
But
adversity,
you have no struggle, which kind of breeds it breeds like good character qualities. Like,
struggle does.
yeah, like a resilience and shit.
Right.
Like look at like a lot of the cats you see now, that like can't handle working like an 8-hour shift.
Yeah, we're seeing more and more of that.
And more of that, dude.
Well,
They have
this-
had no struggle. Like when you give everybody a participation trophy, no one even has like a tussle outside school. You know, like dudes are not engaging in that sort of stuff, like in physical, in person. They'll do it in like a video game or online.
Yeah, they're
so
not-
there's no real danger, no real risk, right?
Right.
And so, but when they're faced with like real work or adversity or something, they literally shut down and like can't handle it and start crying or something.
Yeah,
you know, like-
it's I almost yeah. You almost wonder if that's by design or just because there's soy in our food.
I think it's both.
Yeah,
I think the soy was put in there to make you have more.
it's
estrogen.
almost hard not to like think some conspiracy about it. You know,
I heard this comedian said,
which comedian? Do you know?
I forget his name. He's black dude, probably about 30 something. I
Or
forget his name.
say it. I might know. Yeah.
You'll probably know this.
'Cause yeah.
He goes, he's like, you're trying to tell me you don't believe in any conspiracy theories?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think.
And he's like, I got kids, right? He goes, and the government acts in the role of like parents, right? You know, more or less. And he goes, and I lie to my kids all the fucking time.
Yeah,
you
I've
don't
seen
think
this,
they're,
I've
you know
seen
what I
this.
mean? And it's like even just at that level, like of course, like someone's like
Yeah.
blowing some smoke up your ass, bro. Like, of
Yeah.
course they are. Like literally being the age that I am, I literally watched them sell me on a war as I'm coming to age in Iraq that like literally was not true.
Yeah.
Like they were like, yo, Saddam has weapons of mass destruction.
yeah.
And I was like, nah, fam. But people believed it. And then like
They
fast
believe it.
forward
I bet
to
there's
like
people who still believe it.
probably.
Yeah, it's actually insane when someone releases like propaganda or lies into public, how long and it takes to undo. Like it's so entrenched. Like think about
there's still people
marijuana.
that talk about the Russian collusion. Like that's
yeah.
like been disproven, dude. You know what I mean?
Literally things like
And they
there's-
believe it still.
There was I forget the name of the study and I should know it, but there
There's
was
cats still wearing masks by themselves in a car.
I was
by
just going to say
themselves.
there was a study. Was it John Hopkins or I don't know. I should
probably
know.
one of those places.
Yeah, but they did like a study like recently that like literally just disproves that it does anything.
Yeah,
And there's like people I saw a guy like sitting on a patio with a mask on.
by himself.
Yeah, now me and my wife have a new inside joke whenever we see one of those people. We just tap each other and go, you think they're safe? Or like you think
Yeah,
they
yeah,
feel
yeah.
safe? But I
Yeah.
think that goes back to what you're saying before, just like this softness generally in society. It's not really good for anyone.
I think you need a balance of like
Yeah.
strength and then sensitivity to things too. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
I think that's like real alpha shit.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
like people always talk about that rapper Nipsey Hussle as being like an actual masculine man because he would like actually try to like help people out in his community. Like he's not
Yeah.
trying to put anyone down and shit. Like
Sure.
I think that's like the real alpha shit. You
That
want to
is
like
alpha
lift
Others.
up other people.
Yes. I
You
think
know,
by
what
putting
they call toxic masculinity is like cats with bravado,
yes.
you know, and machismo and this sort of thing.
Which is like literally like weakness being
it's
disguised.
a peacocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
So-
flashing real quick.
It's funny. My wife told me she follows a guy on Instagram who just chops wood.
Yeah.
And like even she showed me, and I was even like, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
I get that. Like,
Yeah.
if I was a chick, I would think that's like hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes like people just like man stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Think about that, like little boys playing in the dirt. Like
I did that shit.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, it was dope.
Like having like a fucking toy gun or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then like not for nothing, like getting in fights and shit as a kid, like kind of also lets you know like the real sense. Like I saw a thing. All right, so there was like this a panel, some kind of podcast, right? And they had shorts, right? And they asked all these girls what they thought they were on a scale of 1 to 10, and all of them, no matter how they
Want to like about what?
hotness level.
Their physical looks.
Hotness, right?
Okay.
And every single one of them said they were a 10.
Yeah, everyone.
Everyone. Like there's ones that like even when I was smoking crack, I'd have been like, nah, dog.
Yeah.
Like I live under a bridge and I wouldn't fuck you.
Yeah, you would have turned her down.
I'd been like, nah, dude.
Nah.
I'd rather jerk off into a napkin than fuck you.
Right.
And she thought she was a 10.
Wow.
That's delusional. Yeah,
Well,
You've never had anyone correct you. Like that's the point of like some struggle. Sometimes you learn where you're at. And like you learn where your real strengths are. Like what am I really good at?
I think
like,
that's the only way.
it's the only way.
Failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, cats don't fail.
Well, in today's world, it's like less encouraged.
Yeah, dude, you should fall on your face, dude. That's how you know the cracks in the sidewalk there, dude.
Yeah.
Someone lifts you over it. You don't know what.
And it goes the same for art too, right?
Yeah.
You have to put it out there and be judged on it.
Yeah, and like you need to expect that, like when you're trying something new, right? You're going to change your style as a tattooer or painter or something like a sculptor or whatever.
And it's vulnerable.
Yeah, you got to know that the first like fucking bunch of them you do, they're not going to be hits.
Yeah.
Like you can't sit down in front of a canvas every time and think it's going to be a masterpiece.
No, in fact, actually,
that's lunacy.
And even if you did get a hit, nice masterpiece, like say your first try, that could almost be like detrimental because now you have like an expectation.
You've got an inflated expectation.
Yeah. Which is like, I think something you could see with like people starting something new if they have early success, which is like why I think they talk about like having success smooth and gradual.
Yeah.
Is
or with peaks and valleys that are in a general direction.
Like well, like when you zoom out, there's like a slow increase.
Yeah.
Then you can
get
kinda,
the 30,000 foot view.
You can like enjoy that view. But I think if you hop up too quick, that's when you could fall equally as quick.
Well, then you also, when you fall, like you get a dopamine release, like when you get a bunch of praise, right?
Yeah.
And if you've only been getting that, when you like say all the posts you're putting up, right, of your shit, it's getting 4,000 or 5,000 fucking likes, right? And then you just drop one that you worked real hard on, and it gets 400.
Right.
Cats are like ready to jump out a window, but that's like just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, then that's where like I think that's when I think people start selling their souls if they're not aware of it, because they become so addicted to just the dopamine reaction they got from the success that they'll keep going further to do anything to gain that same success. So what they're actually after is the same chemical addiction as someone who's out there slanging dope under Cesar Chavez Bridge
all day.
You know what I mean?
All day. Or even like if you rewind back to when I started tattooing 2008 and you take like a female tattooer, right? The last thing they would ever want to do would be to be having their titties mashed together or like dressing like a slut or something. Like they wanted you to respect them for the work.
Sure.
Right now, because of the dopamine release, people are resorting to more and more ways to get like the clickbait. So, you've almost like sold your integrity in order to get more people to just stay on, like hitting that like button or whatever.
Yeah.
So you get more and more lewd, more and more showing more and more skin, more and more this and that. And it's almost not even about your art anymore. It's about like whether you're getting likes.
Yeah.
In a way, right?
And you wonder if that shaped the layout of art in general. Does it? Like, I mean, obviously, I feel like I know the answer, but it's like you're adding water to the pure art because, I think that's probably social media in general.
Yeah.
So it just took, like, imagine like the art culture prior to that ability. It would be people who truly, like, they're the only reason for doing it is because that's what you do and you like doing it.
And the art.
Or I guess my question for you or myself would even be, or was there just another thing like the social media? It was just less available, like some auction or some shit, or getting into a museum. But it was like
that's a long-term goal.
But that's a more long-term thing.
That's a long-term.
You
goal.
don't get that on the daily basis.
It's impossible.
So then I guess what I'm saying is the purity of things was much more rich.
Well, there was more masterpieces because people spent more time on what they created.
Yeah, because now it's like, how quick could I do it to get that dopamine
How many
hit?
times a week can I drop new shit?
It's like just key bumps of coke
all day long.
all day.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then the crash probably gets more, and then now you're doing fucking lines, but all day.
All day.
And then next thing you know, you're just like hanging out, rolling around. Like
there's like, you look at some of these paintings, like
these people are like George Young out here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, all day. But you look at some of these paintings, right? Like the real masterpieces, some of them took years.
Oh yeah, lifetimes, I think.
Yeah, like, and imagine you didn't post something for even a month. Like, you're afraid people are forgetting about you.
Yeah.
You know, like these guys weren't concerned about that. They're like, I got to do the illest shit, you know?
You know what the saddest part about that is, actually? It's like, if you're not posting something for a month, which I don't think I have right now.
Yeah.
But it's like, almost like, even if you decided to live that life where you don't, it's almost like you have to, kind of. It's almost like you're pigeonholed to it, or it's like, or you can't do this. It's almost like a minimum requirement.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, if you don't stay present on the internet, it's fine. You don't have to. Yeah. But you can't do this.
You can't. Yeah.
How are you going to roll up to a new city and be like, hey,
how
I'm
I going to
booking?
run to Austin?
You can't.
And I haven't posted a tattoo in
now,
a year.
Now, with that being said, you probably could come down here and shake people's hands out in the coffee shop and the bar and show them your analog portfolio and be like, hey, man, this is what I do. And then they would probably just think you're a weirdo.
More than likely.
You know?
I've even seen a thing where a lot of girls nowadays, they don't even like when like a dude approaches them at the bar. Like, they would rather have met the dude
on the app
online and then meet him in person.
Yeah. This is when I become real glad that I'm out that game. Before all that existed,
I had to like walk up to my wife with fear in my heart. Yeah. And I got rejected by her at first.
Yeah. Remember ringing like I mean, I don't know. Me and you probably lived different younger lives, but like I used to ring chicks' doorbells and meet the father, you know?
Oh no, I had to do all that shit.
Yeah, you did
too.
all that.
I was raised right.
Well, I know you were raised right, or else I wouldn't be your friend. I would think.
The no, but like you had to meet the dad, and you're putting on your best face, and you know what I mean? Like you know, like and you got all the anxiety knowing in there, like, because low key I knew, like, if a chick was picking me in those days, there was a chance it was slightly meant to upset her father.
That was like her like nook to your cranny.
Yeah, like she wasn't ready to bring home like a black dude, so I was like the next best thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, in those days, you know what I mean? Back when like parents would freak out about an interracial relationship. You know what I mean? Like yeah.
I mean, in some parts of the country, I've even noticed some adversity with that. So it's like definitely.
Oh yeah, I think that's still going on. There's no doubt about that, you know. But yeah, you know.
So you would just roll up there like and
I'd have my hair correct.
Okay, looking crispy.
As minimally confrontational as possible. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So you ring the bell, you shake the dad's hand.
It's strong. Look him in the eyes.
Yeah, you got to look him in the eyes.
Look him in the eyes. Hold it. You know?
You ever get one of those handshakes from one of those guys and they give you like a wet noodle? I mean, I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're wondering if the wet noodle is because he disapproves so much he's grossed out, or if he's just a pussy.
Yeah.
You don't
Usually
know.
I could just tell it's more of a pussy.
Usually.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
It's like, hey, you just gave me that floppy wet noodle handshake. It's like, I don't know. You're lucky I'm a good person, because if I wasn't, I would just probably try to take advantage of you.
I'd like steal your silverware.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like what? Like you were like, I'm like a grown ass man. I want to shake your hand. I'd give me a fucking...
at the fucking table with you, and I take my fork and like take a piece of food off your shit and fucking eat it. You know what I mean? Yeah. What you gonna fucking do?
Hey, you eating the rest of that?
Yeah. Not even ask. Look him straight in his eyes. You know what I mean? Like, what? You know?
Yeah, like that's like
we're in jail, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, nah, dude.
Not that I've been to jail, but I can, like, you know, I've seen movies.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you know the general thing. It's it's a dominance hierarchy there, you know?
It's like, you're like a wolf, and that's like a gazelle.
I'm like a wolf, and that's just a weaker wolf, and we're at the same carcass. And I'm like, nah, dog. I want the leg.
Get out.
Fuck you. You can have the intestines, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, and shake the shit out of them first before you eat it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not shaking shit
Don't
out.
come at me with that wet noodle shit.
Nah,
I don't like that, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go walk over to your tree and piss on it and mark it as my territory now. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's like, I guess it could just, someone never taught them how to do that, but how do you not figure that out after like a little bit of time?
Yeah, you just...
Some people just like don't think, because I feel like when you like initially greet someone and shake their hand or you know, you're kind of setting the tone for like where you're at.
Yeah.
Right.
First impressions.
It's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that like rolling up to someone not like firm.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't
You better
know.
have a good excuse like leukemia or something, or else I'm taking your shit, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying, dog? Like,
I do.
you know? Like say the apocalypse happens, right? You know who I'm robbing first?
That guy?
Any grown ass man with an anime sleeve. I know you're not doing shit. I'll take everything you got.
Just written on the face, or no, literally on their arm.
It's lit. You're telling me that like I could take you.
Yeah.
Like you're like you're advertising to me that you have low T. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like I'll look at you and be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, like say like World War Z pops off, right? You got zombies fucking running around,
Just
right?
fucking zombified.
And I need a firearm. Mine ran out of ammo or whatever, right? I need this.
Right.
And I see you with a 35-year-old man with a colored Goku sleeve. Your rifle is my rifle now.
Right.
You understand? And I might not even let you live because I don't need you coming back around trying to take it again when I'm sleeping or something.
Yeah. What if he bites
way.
you on the ankle when you're doing it and you get like, he was already kind of zombified?
I'm shooting him in the dick, so his last few moments of being a human are going to be without a dick.
Yeah, but then what if he gets back up?
And I'll pop him in the dome. Double tap. And then probably pop myself so I don't go out like a fucking zombie cuck.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I'm not on that team, dog, you know? But yeah, like I think even I think tattoos are good in that sense. If the apocalypse happens, I know who to rob.
Who, the people with the tattoos, you're saying?
Yeah,
What type of tattoo?
I know, doing this job, I know who you are.
Yeah.
I know what to do. Or like if we're driving and I see you got like a coexist bumper sticker on your shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm stealing your car.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
100%.
I was already thinking that.
Yeah. If I seen that you got kale growing in your backyard, first off, that's my kale now. And I'll probably kill
That's
you
like
and take your shit.
survival 101 in the
Straight up.
apocalypse. I think
Yeah.
it's in the handbook.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you.
But the problem is eventually I'll run into someone that's way liver than me.
Yeah.
And I might have to just give up my gun.
Well, there's levels.
You
to
know,
this.
there's way levels to this shit. Yeah.
That's like, it's like, I was thinking about that too. I'm like, you stock some ammo, you stock some weapons, but it's like at the end of the day, like maybe I could just carry and reload mags for like the ex-military Navy SEAL guys or something that'll just take over the block real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to get down with a set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Well,
gotta get
and I
down
think
with a
that's
crew.
back to the gang thing, you know?
Yeah,
But now I'm worried about my survival.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's like, where's the line?
Yeah.
Mine's like, hey, all that war breaks out around me. Like, now I need to join a gang. But anything before that, I don't think I need
to join a gang.
I think I'm good rolling alone.
Yeah.
Or at least just like my friends or something.
But you get a
you know what I
collapse
mean?
of society, dog.
Now I might join the gang. But it's
I'll be
funny.
rocking a flag out my back left pocket early. Bro,
But there's actually a good lesson to be learned about this, because I think it's like everyone will join some form of gang or conform to some group
in desperate times.
I think that line changes for everyone depending on your environment.
Depending on your, a couple things like what you've encountered in your life, right? What adversity you've had already, and how much work you've done on yourself.
Yeah.
So those are like three factors.
But somebody born in like a real shit fucking neighborhood, where like they're walked down to like the grocery store, they're gonna get like beat up or fucking robbed. Yeah. They join the gang because they already have like a form of warfare around them at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a survival.
Exactly.
Instinct,
So we talked about that before. So now it's kind of like, I guess what I'm thinking is like, for me, the line would be like all out war.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like the Lone Ranger. You know what I mean?
Or like if we had like a crazy serious pandemic, like there's airborne Ebola.
Right.
You know what I mean? Resources are running out. People are dying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm breaking into some shit to get some food, bro.
Well, I think when all that goes out the window, that's how that rolls.
Yeah.
Which I think is also like, again, human nature, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you really going to be like, oh, let's all team together in our neighborhood? It would sound nice. It would be good.
It's not going to happen.
Until like you're sleeping and the guy was supposed to be watching the neighborhood just rob all
takes
the
all
resources
the food and bounces.
dips.
Yeah. Because he will.
that's what will happen.
He'll
inevitably.
do that.
I mean,
Definitely.
it's like fucking TV shows. Like,
Yeah.
is like, I don't know, what's that fucking zombie show that went on for like 20
The Walking
years?
Dead or whatever.
Yeah, isn't that, I mean, I didn't even see it, but I know
there was a
that's what
bunch of
happens.
circumstances like
Yeah.
that. Well, like it's funny too, because like people will be like super stoked. They'll like want to be like, yeah, I want it to kind of collapse. Like, yeah, the first 2 weeks are cool
Yeah.
until all like the raping and fucking murdering starts happening.
Anything.
And
Yeah,
then,
all
like,
kinds of shit.
Start getting killed over a fucking kernel of corn.
And
it's like,
resources are low and they're
Yeah.
not being replenished.
people start eating people and shit, dude. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that's where it'll go. You know what I mean? Like I'm not looking for that, dude.
No.
Yeah.
No, and I think that's where you like start to realize how good society is.
Yeah.
Especially here in America, you know, like everything is like essentially great.
Yeah, bro. Like
Even
whenever
on
I
a
see
bad
whenever I
day.
see people like really bitching about America, I'm like, you've never been anywhere else. Have you?
Exactly.
You never went anywhere. Or if you did, you went to like you went skiing in Swiss Alps or something.
Yeah, or you went to a resort that was built to
keep
resemble
you safe.
America
Yeah.
on a shitty place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's not to say everything's perfect, but it's like, you know, even on a bad day, overall things are pretty good compared to other places that you can live.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that if you showed someone in Haiti a project building in Newark, they would take that in a heartbeat.
That would be an upgrade.
A mega upgrade.
Right.
Mega.
So,
You know.
that's my point. Like, obviously, you know, I would think that would be a bad place to live for me.
Yeah.
Right,
Because we
but
have
that's-
this standard of what it is here. But when
Exactly.
you look at the world standard,
Exactly. This is my
this
point.
is fucking great. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, obviously, you know, there's going to be like misfortune anywhere, but overall, the big picture, it's
Still doing all right.
still doing all right. Like, typically, you don't worry about getting your organs harvested on a
100%.
Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
You
Like
know?
what in the Indigo Traveler, the Haiti one, they're like eating patties made of fucking mud and salt.
Right.
Just to have something in their stomach. Like you're literally eating mud.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, you know, it's like not even that far from America. It's like a little
Yeah.
short plane ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know we talked about it before. It's like we were almost saying people like we almost need a little bit of turmoil to maybe like make us appreciate how good things are.
Well, I think that's where we're at.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like, look, dog, look, I say this all the time, dude. But if you were to ask my grandmother, who's still alive and kicking, 90 something years old, she lived through the fucking Great Depression. The World Wars, all this shit, dude. If you ask her during the Great Depression, was anybody concerned about gender ideology or something like this? She would say, no, there was no fucking food. We were worried about fucking food.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when, like right now we've made some of these things a problem because we've got time to think about it.
And luxuries, yeah.
And luxury to think about it, right? You know what I mean? Like cut the fucking food off and everyone's like, whoa, shit.
Well, then it would
dog.
become about survival only.
Yeah, only.
Like it's almost like certain social issues you're saying become a problem in times of surplus
Yeah, you're looking for some kind of conflict
because there just is no general conflict
Yeah.
with your survival. Like
Yeah.
your food taken care of, water taken care of.
Yeah.
General shelter,
Mostly people have
structure
shelter.
to society,
Yeah.
like, and of course, I'm just blanketing it with
There's
like,
transportation.
like generally in our society, there's a system, there's a food truck delivery.
Yeah.
There's
Dude, I don't even have to call a place to get food. I can literally type it on my phone and lay in my underwears and play with my dick, and all of a sudden it arrives at my house.
my question with that is, was that ever a system that was broken? So here's my gripe with that, right?
Yeah.
I used to call the pizzeria.
Yeah.
Pizzeria would take the order. The pizzeria would bring me the pizza. I would pay the pizzeria, and the pizzeria would,
Go back and make another pizza.
Go back and make it, hopefully another pizza.
Yeah.
Right? Now it's like I call the guy who goes and gets it from the pizzeria, and now I pay the pizzeria and that guy.
Yeah.
And then the company that owns that guy.
Takes a slice from that guy and the pizzeria.
Yeah, like was the initial system even broken?
No, we're just lazier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or did corporations
Dude,
just see an
all
opening?
you have to do is go buy a Starbucks, right? Any
Mm-hmm.
Starbucks. And the drive-through line is backed up onto the fucking other main road. No one's inside.
Yeah.
No one parked their car,
Oh.
walked 10 fucking feet, and they'd have their drink in a third of the fucking
So
time.
I used to know about that loophole. I would just park and go in and order.
Yeah.
But I'm too bougie now to even drink Starbucks.
Oh, I smell you.
Yeah. I like this hipster John on the corner.
I mean, listen,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's like, where we're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it just tells you something about the people in today's world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, imagine people used to like chop wood and like carry things and men with a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
And now you see people lined up onto the highway causing traffic onto the shoulder dangerously.
Yeah.
And shit like that just to get a cup of coffee. Meanwhile, you could just go inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's bizarre.
Bananas.
Yeah.
And people don't even have like a connection to like where their food came. Like, do you think most people, if they wanted a chicken sandwich, could like kill a chicken?
Oh, I think it'd be like less than 1% of people.
That's what I'm saying. You have a disassociation with where your food comes from.
I wonder. I mean, I don't think it's a percent we could actually.
Quantify, right?
Probably. I mean, I guess if we did like some long math, like population versus people who have like experience hunting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would think that in some regions of the world that would be higher probability than others.
Like
and I think
New York City, it's low.
Yeah, but all the way
Montana, it's high.
Exactly. But upstate New York might be higher.
Way higher.
You know what I'm saying?
Way higher.
So I think as we develop cities, we lose touch of that. Or city folk.
Well, I used to think that being from the urban sprawl that I was from was like made me like tough.
Yeah.
I now think quite the opposite. Like I think because look, me and my sons are starting to do hunting and trapping and this sort of thing, and I'm going on an elk hunt with Dimitri this year and all this kind of shit. Yeah. And once you realize that if you have to actually do real man shit and you're from a city, you're a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
You can't do any of that shit. You don't know how to skin a fucking animal. You don't know how to grow any food. You don't know how to hunt anything. You don't know how to do shit.
No, and the crazy thing about
you're
that,
like beholden to that setup, that system.
You're like a slave to that system.
100%.
So to be truly independent from that system, you would have, but those are like literal survival skills.
Yeah.
And I think that
I don't think it's a bad thing for anybody to learn any of that shit.
No.
Like, no matter where you live, like learn how do you fucking grow food?
Yeah.
How do I butcher a chicken?
That would be real. Yeah, because I even thought about that.
You'd also
before.
appreciate that chicken sandwich way more. It wouldn't be disposable.
I thought about that too, because I was like, you think about shit hit the fan, and it's like, cool, I'll take my 22 long rifle and kill a squirrel. It's like, but then what am I going to do with the squirrel?
I actually just had to learn how to skin a squirrel because my kids wanted to set up these deadfall traps that we made. We got a squirrel.
Oh, really?
And then I was like, they were like, oh, cool. I'm like, well, now we have to like skin it and stuff. Like,
yeah.
We can't just take this life without.
Did you eat it?
I wanted to. Nikki told me that I was outside my mind because I like, so
Okay.
if we're not going to make any more traps until I look up recipes and I'd cook them. But I went out there and skinned it with my kids and, this sort of thing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it was difficult. I didn't really know I watched some YouTube fucking videos, dude. But
sure,
me and my kids are like learning this together.
I always thought about that. Like if shit hit the fan, I was like, hopefully YouTube would still.
Well, I'm trying to learn it now.
I know.
God forbid, right?
That's like the
I don't want to be like a doomer, but like,
no.
But these things are like things that like I felt like
you're almost a little bit crazy if you don't have like a small degree of at least preparation.
Yeah, you should at least like know how to fish or something.
Well, because it doesn't have to be such a crazy downfall. Like it could literally just be like there's a strike for delivery trucks for food and whatever have you. And
I look at it like this, right?
Gas shortage.
I live on a river and I live in an ocean, and both are plentiful with fish.
Yeah,
I could go do something with my kids, fishing. We could have a great time, and I might even get a meal for the evening. Now my family just saved money, and I had a good time doing it with my kids.
Yeah,
right. And then we get to learn these valuable things and like have this appreciation for you're gutting and cleaning the
and
fish
even just
and
the more connectedness to the actual food.
Yeah,
and it's also just healthier because it's not with like processed whatever shit stuff.
It's probably like a good idea. So like I actually feel like a pussy compared to some of these like cats that like I would have looked at as like a redneck or something. Like I'm like, no, these guys like have like actual skills like that I didn't think were important, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
they're
now,
just like life skills.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah,
like,
that's how I feel about like shooting and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
Self-defense,
Yeah.
right? I mean, defending yourself, whether it be like fighting or like grappling or some shit, or like just knowing like maybe something like I don't do it, but like jujitsu or something. Like I've thought about it just because it's like
you got a lady, you got a wife. Like what if some shit pops off?
It's like
I need
the
to be able
reality.
to to protect my family, my wife. You know what I mean? Like Leo was he had some kids fucking with him at school, and then he got into martial arts. That doesn't happen anymore.
Exactly.
Like he literally gave this kid a fade like 10 times, like, and all of it stopped. Like everybody knows you don't fuck with Leo at school now.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's even a self-defense mechanism in itself.
It is.
I learned that like when I was young, right? Like, cause I was like skinny, like super skinny. Like I was like 6 feet or 5'11" and like $150, right?
Yeah.
So, so there's lots of people bigger than me. I watched the movie Casino and I learned something very fast. Joe Pesci's like the main psychopath in the movie, right? But he's small, right? He's a small dude. And I quickly figured out that Joe Pesci would win in all the beefs and fights all the time, even though he's physically way less empowering than these cats, just because he was willing to do an extreme act of violence, like off the rip.
Right.
And then people were like, yeah, I'm not trying to get stabbed to death with a pen by this fucking guy, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that would be like my strategy because I was like small.
Mm-hmm.
So like I remember this one kid like beat my ass, right? So I just like waited for him with a doorknob and a sock. For like 2 nights. Huh? Yeah. And then I slumped this motherfucker when he was taking out his trash and no one fucked with me again.
Damn.
Because they were like, damn, what is Sean gonna do?
Yeah, you set the tone.
I set like, look, dog.
I always felt like I didn't get picked on, but I had like a more like mental approach.
Yeah.
Like I knew how to navigate the waters in like a slithery way. Like not slithery, but like more like I would know who to make friends with, who to make laugh.
Well, that's like how I kind of operate now more. Now I'm not gonna like go slump somebody. Like I got shit to lose now.
No, I know, but I'm just saying like as a kid, because I feel like every kid has like a way that they deal with that. I remember when I was entering high school, my brother told me on the first day of school I should find the biggest kid, and bear hug him and bite his ear off.
I mean, that's the mentality I had. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. And I guess maybe he had like a more similar mentality.
A lot of things you tell me about your brother sound similar to how I process
I guess
the world,
point is I think that the different kids have different like navigation methods.
Well, also you think about it too. Like, so you were little, right? When your parents split up, right?
Yes.
Your brother was like old enough to be like in the mix and like understand the pain of what was happening there, which probably led him to react in that way more than you.
More than me, right?
Because you were like too young to really feel what that was like. Like he was sitting there like my family's getting ripped apart. Right. So he's gonna have more of that on him, right?
And then for me, it's like I think you more like navigate. Like it was a very different that, or
and you also had your brother there too.
Yeah, well that's a big thing. Having an older sibling.
Yeah,
which is like
I was the older sibling.
Yeah, so then a lot of that falls on you.
Yeah,
in the sense of like protecting your younger. I guess like your family. I guess what I'm getting from this is like your family structure is like your like original.
That's the
gang.
dynamic. Yeah, that's your OG gang.
And that's the OG gang. Yeah. And I think something that a lot of people don't talk about enough, that in today's society, this push for like the general nuclear family, it's not as like revered. And I think that that's some of the problem with like why our society's somewhat in shambles.
Yeah, I think I have a whole thought process on that. Like, I think people have been duped into chasing the bag.
Right.
And not focusing on like, people don't want to have a family because they want to think about, or even a lot of times even a wife or anything, because they are in a lot of cases think that that's like what's most important, is like getting this money, this recognition, this fame. But when you're, fucking 65 years old and nobody gives a fuck about the job you did probably doesn't even exist anymore when you were getting the bag, right? But now you don't even have a wife or anything, like you got a cat.
Right.
You're miserable now. Like you got a significant other. You're good. I got 3 kids and shit. I'm cool in my older life. I got companions and shit, right? You know what I mean? Like the like there's a people's focus has been shift towards working rather than enjoying like the cool parts of being a human.
Well, I think that they miss out on that.
Yeah.
I think that it takes some level of mental maturity to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because then you start realizing like, even just as like a tattoo artist or whatever, like you think like more. Let me work more. Let me do more projects.
I
Like,
know, I'm guilty of it back in the
and
day.
same.
Yeah.
And same. And I think there's like a degree of the survival that comes into play early on, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, let me, make this art, make my name, meet people, do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. But then you lose sight of like the journey of doing that is less enjoyable because you're never
we
absorbing that.
we talked about it a few times. Like, there's a lot of tattooers right now that are sacrificing. I'm not going to name any names, but we all know who I'm talking about. That are literally willing to crumble their marriage,
Right.
let their kid be raised by a fucking iPad, all so that they can stay at work and do the whole outside of a sleeve in 2 days and work 40 hours in 2 fucking days.
Exactly.
But for what?
At the end of the day,
For a
what?
dopamine hit from Instagram?
Exactly.
Your kid doesn't know you now. Your marriage is totally fucked. You're going to create more stress in your life. And now you're only going to keep diving deeper into this tattoo thing to try to save you.
Exactly. It's like a toxic personality. Like,
it's like a chip
path.
on your shoulder personality trait, right? Like,
it's
shit.
egoic.
yeah.
I also feel like sometimes, like, and I've asked other tattooers, like, hey, when's the last time you like went on vacation to the beach, or like, or went with like your family to dinner without a tattooer, or like without
doing a guest spot.
Right. Like, have you been to a place without guest spotting and just enjoyed
When's the last time you had a date night with your wife and you left your phone in the car?
Exactly.
When's the last time you did that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Which is a good idea. I kind of want to start doing that.
Me and Nikki do it all the time. You know what I mean? Because like both of us, now that she's starting the real estate, she'll get like amped into looking at shit, and and then I'll be looking at tattoo shit, and I'm like, this isn't. We're not even talking.
Yeah, I try not to take my phone out when I'm at dinner, even if it's in my pocket. I've been using the do not disturb mode quite a bit.
Yeah, Jesse Smith does that a lot.
Yeah, sometimes I leave it on until like 3:00 in the like when I get to work.
'Cause why not?
Yeah, and I could still, like, if I want to manually check it, but there's no notifications.
Yeah,
it stops calls.
Yeah, that's good.
And I used to leave like my phone on the nightstand without that on.
Yeah,
and I was noticing I was waking up sometimes subconsciously from like a vibration or something.
Or waking up and getting bombarded with anxiety.
Yeah.
Because you just opened a phone and like started checking Instagram or something.
Exactly.
Instead of like waking up and like having a nice conversation with your significant other or your roommate or your kids or something.
Or just being in your own head and kind of
or just like sitting having a cup of coffee looking at the window at the fucking tree.
Sometimes you need to just work through like those initial thoughts in your brain to get them right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And then you just like robbed yourself of that, like being with you.
You already started your day without peace.
Yeah, because sometimes I want to like get peace and then go in the shower, and in that space, like
extra clear it out, right?
Clear it out.
Yeah,
exactly. Kind of like work through some things in my brain, set my tone, and then
or like even like you're like, oh yeah, you get here early, and you be like watching. Like, I get to the shop like early when no one's there.
Yeah, I'm rolling up and dudes watching like a Mayan documentary drawing aliens in a sketchbook with flip flops.
That's my peace.
Yeah,
that's where I get my peace, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like when I'm drawing in that sketchbook, I'm not drawing tattoo stuff.
No, I know.
I
think that's important.
Yeah, like like I love. That's why I like graffiti, right? Because there's almost like look, like if we're not talking about street art, I'm talking about graffiti.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what excited me about art in the first place, is because I knew there's no way they're getting paid for that.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it 100% because they fucking love this. And when they're at home, they're playing with letter forms and stuff in different shapes because they want to.
Yes.
To me, it was the most pure form of...
I think that's why I'm drawn to it myself. Yeah. I'm a fan of like you said, not street art. Fucking graffiti. I even love when it's raw. Like I love fucking just dirty graffiti. You know,
blown out fucking outline on the top, dude.
Because it's
like
just
a fucking
real.
Shitty fill or
There's
something.
There's nothing
dude.
to be had. In fact, it's even opposite. The only thing to be had is usually like negative, like in a sense. Like besides the personal. But I mean, I guess it could also be like we were talking about before, like a little bit of a dopamine hit too.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like anytime you create something and you're proud of it, it's a dopamine hit.
But then again, that is like nature too, right? Like we do have dopamine for like whatever reason.
Well, yeah, that's like a reward system.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
exactly.
that's like how it told us, like, no, keep eating this fruit. It's good.
Speaking of reward system, I kind of want to reward my dopamine receptors currently and go take a nice urination.
I'm with you on that. You want to hit pause? Yeah, my shit's billowing up in there, dog.
Yeah, you know what I'm
the
saying?
floodgates are at peak.
Yeah.
I'm looking like Katrina right before the levees fucking broke, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's about to be a bunch of dead bodies floating around in my pants.
Yeah. I'm looking like Fort Lauderdale last week.
Yeah.
That was live down there.
Yeah. The homies down there were like sending me videos of their car just like fucking
Crazy.
water up to the window. Yeah.
Well, I'm about to go reenact
Let's go do
that.
it. Yeah. Let's go
pause that
do
up.
that.
Yeah. Whew.
And we're back.
Yeah. I needed that.
Yeah. There was some resistance building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was getting, like I had to go get that out of me when I considered pinching my dick. You know what I'm saying?
It's like you feel the pain, right? Like the little like urination pain and like you feel it like move up like up the shaft. And then eventually like when it starts hurting like near the tip of your dick, you're like, all right, we've reached critical mass here, dude. You know
I always think like I can hold it even at like a concert or something, but then it's like you really
I'm not enjoying the moment.
You're not enjoying like life.
Yeah. It's like you ever see like what Theo Von and Rogan were talking about, and he's like, Rogan's like, no, I just get up and take a piss.
Yeah.
And Theo's like, I ride the bag. And Rogan's like, that's crazy. Like, you're gonna sit there and not actually sleep all the way because like you don't feel like getting up, dude. Like you could go piss and then go back to sleep all the way.
I do that sometimes. I lay down in bed.
I'll fight it. Yeah.
And fight
then,
it
like
for
Rogan
hours.
said that, and I was like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I could have got up, pissed in
And
like
just be done
a
with
minute
it.
and a half,
Yeah.
and then be like sleeping good.
Good sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like going to sleep when you got to take a little bit of a shit, but not fully.
Yeah, you should have just taken a shit.
Yeah, you might have to go push that one out and get a hemorrhoid or something real
Yeah.
quick. You know?
Oh man.
You're just gonna get like bad sleep because you got shit just chilling in your ass.
Yeah, like legit,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, that's interesting, dude. You know what I mean? Like, or like I'll do this thing where like I'm driving because I drive everywhere to all
You
these
do
places.
drive everywhere. You drove here.
I love it.
I'm more of like a fly guy.
That got ruined for me during the COVID era.
Oh,
Because I was like, man, like TSA already throws all my shit around and breaks my shit and like ink bottles explode, right?
Right.
That was already something to deal with, right? And then you get into a new city and every fucking place has different laws and rules about what you can wear, the fucking mask, no mask, like what do you got to do? And I just like didn't want to deal with it anymore.
yeah.
And I thought about it. I looked at it like this for me. I looked at it as like, okay, so say I fly from Orlando to here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having my wife drive me to the airport, sitting there, waiting, flying, getting there, getting the Uber, getting my bag from the carousel, get into the hotel. I've already lost a whole day anyway.
Yeah, and then
but on someone else's terms, right?
Then you might even eat like a Cinnabon.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be good for you either.
Yeah, but if I'm driving in my car, like I could smoke a cigarette anytime I want. I can like listen to whatever I want. There's nobody fucking pinching me in. For me, that, and it's really a thing of like, if you don't mind driving that.
And then you get like the exploration side of it. You get to
I like it. I stop
you
in
get
a
to check
little
out some
town.
dirty bathrooms at gas stations.
Or like even like in my mind, Alabama and Mississippi were just garbage,
Yeah.
right? And then like I drove through them like, this is fucking beautiful.
Right.
It's like a beautiful place. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and you would have
the
been
land-
robbed of that experience had you flown.
I would have never seen it.
Yeah, you would have
know what I
seen
mean?
it. You would have seen a slightly yellowed, what was once white panel of an airplane that you would have uncomfortably slept against, and that's if you were lucky enough to get the windows.
The window seat. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
And then
like,
you
and I
would-
like that shit. Like I stop and I talk to people and shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm friendly and shit, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And plus, it's just like, you got that like cowboy, like
Yeah, a pirate or a wanderer,
Yeah.
the Rolling Stone,
that's
with no
like
malls
so
kind of thing.
I love
like-
that kind of stuff. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, I kind of like want to learn more about pirates sometimes.
Oh, bro.
Like, there's like obviously a rich history there, but I haven't
Oh,
done
it's
it.
cool. Then
I
there's
haven't
like
done-
multiple oceans.
I want to know about it.
Like, okay, so there's like the pirates like were like fucking with the European trade shit. But then there's also the Asian pirates. That's a whole nother thing.
Right. And there's pirates currently, right?
In Somalia.
But
yeah.
not like really, right? I mean, they
I
are.
mean, dude, like 10 years ago, they were popping. They were like stealing oil tankers and shit.
Yeah.
Dog. That's
but I haven't heard of anything recently.
not
like that, right?
really, I don't think. I mean, we watched the Somalia thing. It was like looking okay comparatively to how it was then.
Right. So I wonder like what's up with that.
I don't know. I mean,
But that's just like interesting. And I think because I was just on that cruise ship, like looking over the thing and the side of the boat, and you're just like looking at open seas and just like there's multiple conditions and like people that used to like, embark on those like treks across the water. It just like, it's crazy.
well, that's like a certain type of person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I mean now, yes, but I mean like, well then.
Then it was too, right?
Yeah.
Like think about it. Like the people who probably became pirates, right? It's a personality thing, and it's also like a circumstantial.
Oh,
thing,
you're
right?
talking about pirates, not just people out sailing. Yeah. The pirates were like because there was explorers, right?
Yeah, but those people had a similar thing.
They're not much.
They didn't
different.
really like. Okay, like here's the best example, right? In modern times, right? You got the dude that he's born in Fanwood, New Jersey.
That's
And
you.
when I was born in Staten Island, but either way,
okay.
close enough. I lived there a lot of time. Right?
Okay.
And or Staten Island's a great example too. Like there's people to this day that my mom is friends with that won't drive off the island.
Yeah.
You know,
I
that's
understand.
a certain type of person. They're not getting in a fucking pirate ship. They're not getting in any ship.
Yeah.
In those times, they're gonna stay in their little the little town and they have their life there and they're like that. And then there's other people that want to get in the car and they want to drive somewhere. They want to see something new. They don't want directions. They don't want to stay on the resort. They want to go see.
I think that might be me.
And I'm definitely over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like most of our friends are that way. I mean, Perry drives from California to New York like a maniac.
Yeah.
You know, and like Dimitri goes out with no cell service for 2 weeks straight and just hunts.
I like exploring, but when it comes to getting somewhere, I like flying because I just like sleeping.
Yeah.
And then when I get there, then I do the exploring.
Yeah.
You know.
For me, it's the whole thing.
Sure.
You know, it's the whole thing. Like I was like fascinated by I would watch like old movies with my dad, right? And he was like John Wayne guy. Like he named me after John Wayne's character in this one movie. And those dudes would like get on the horses, dog, and they would like ride into the sunset into terrain. And I was like, man,
It's cool.
I want that.
It's dope.
You know, but like that's not necessarily like a regular thing.
I wonder
you know?
what it is in me though, because like I love that. Like I'm always drawn to like this idea of like unknown. I get this gut feeling like that. Feeling like when I think of like being in the middle of somewhere,
something new.
Yeah, somewhere you don't know where it is.
Yeah.
Or like being at sea or you know, like a train or like those things or people always intrigue me. But I think I like that even in personal things. Like when you look at a blank canvas.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get that same feeling.
Where's it gonna go?
Yeah.
Where's
I
it
like
gonna go?
that.
Yeah.
It's like a good feeling to me.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that that's the difference in like making leaps sometimes is like enjoying that feeling. I think some people are scared of that feeling.
Well, look at what you took as a job. Okay.
Right.
There's no retirement. There's no health benefits. There's no 401k.
Yeah.
If you want,
Not even a guarantee of even doing it.
No.
You know, you can break your wrist, right?
All day. You could be fucked, right?
You can, yeah.
Any number of things, right? And then the reward and also too, like, okay, I got into an argument with someone about during COVID about I said something and like in the regard of like fucking, you know, tattooers don't want to pay. They want to pay as little taxes as they can. And it was like somebody that I knew that worked for like a giant corporation. And he's like, oh, you motherfuckers trying to fucking skirt tax. I said, listen, hold on. Let's fucking break this down, dog. All right. So you're mad at me because I took the risk. And when I go to, even if you work for someone else, right? You bought all your fucking supplies.
Right.
You had to go mine your own clients. You had to do it. And if you open a shop, it's even more. Like when you work in an office job, the pencil you're writing with, you didn't fucking buy that. The space you're working out of, you don't pay for that. The computer you're using, somebody else gave that to you. The computer I use, I bought it. The pencil I bought it. Yeah, so I should fucking pay less taxes than you, dog.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll even raise you one there.
Yeah.
The education you got, the art education, you bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So you
And
are
you're
mad
still
at me.
buying it.
Yeah, and you're mad at me because I want to use the tax code to help me out and use write-offs and shit. when you didn't take any risk at all. You took the safest possible way that you can.
Yeah.
And then you're mad that you get taxed more than me. Well, I took a lot more risks. Shit could go wrong for me real fast, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just how
I
it
also
balances
feel like
out.
with tattoo artists in particular, or I guess anyone who shares a similar lifestyle, is also the lifespan can be somewhat condensed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it has an expiration date. It's kind of like being like an athlete in a sense. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you're old at 40 in the MLB, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
so like when you're a tattoo artist, like in your, 40s, 50s,
Yeah, you're
like
old.
you're not going to be the cool,
No.
you know, you could get to like some kind of OG status, but I feel like there's going to be a kid that's younger and with what's cool to like the,
That'll be busier than
to
you.
the general demographic.
100%.
So it's like kind of like getting it while it's hot in a way,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And or having the wherewithal, the sense to know when that time is coming and start looking at other investments or other avenues of things to do as well.
Yeah.
Like when you clock
I think
in,
that's the most important
that's
thing.
the most
It's
important
kind of
thing.
like where my mind's been going more lately.
Mine's been going too. Yeah.
It's like, how do we
Wanna
like
own some
invest?
properties and,
you know, what other type of business can I open? You
Yeah.
know, whatever.
Where's the
have
next
you.
10 years going to take me?
Yeah,
you know?
because like you know, your back starts to hurt, your wrist starts
Yeah.
to hurt, and it's like you know that it's not going to get better, right?
No, it's not. It's not.
You start taking action like working out or massages or whatever
Yeah.
have you, but it's like
Still, we all know what time
hey,
it is.
yeah, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, you know what it is, right? Yeah, but it was like, that cat was like legit mad at me. And I was like, dude, but like the amount of like risk that you take doing this far outweighs, you know what I mean? Like that,
Yeah.
that you talk, like, so what are we talking about here, dog? You know?
Yeah. What are we talking about here?
You could tell that one got me hot, huh? You could tell that one got me pissed.
It's all right. I like it.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Yeah, there's a couple family members who would always be mad that I like made it in this route. And they would be like, oh, well, I did everything right. I went to school. Yeah, I'm sorry, but
Cool.
you don't have to do that to like
Yeah.
make it in America,
Yeah, but it's not like you were just hanging out either.
No, hell no.
Because
I'm doing work. I was like one of the first people in our area to fly to Eastern Europe to get a tattoo to fucking learn about what they were doing over there.
and then you were like tattooing until like the early hours of the morning or whatever.
busting, I can guarantee you that any good tattooer works a longer day than a cat that clocks in at a cubicle.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I always kind of like know those guys. Like
Yeah.
when I would work places and be like, like that guy makes it home for dinner every night, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know what the fuck that is.
To me, that's like, I mean, it's kind of contradictory to what we were saying before, but I think that there's times and places. Like, it's like sometimes I'm leaving here, walking out the alleyway, and it's no one around, and I'm like, I'm willing sometimes to like go the extra mile, if I need to. But with that being said, I swiftly counterbalance that with like hey, honey, let's take a week off and like enjoy white sands.
Yeah, well, that's just balance. That's just balance.
I think
Like
that's the most
you go
important
all in on anything. You go all in on laziness, or you go all in on like a hyper career mode. That's
but my
not good
thing with
either.
anything is if you're gonna do it entirely or don't do it.
Yeah, step up or step off.
Anything, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, don't pussyfoot around this.
No,
Do it or
none
don't.
of this. Like,
Nah. Come in or don't.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's like, well, then just if
It's
not,
like going in the ocean up to your knees. Like, stop.
yeah, you got to get the ball sack wet.
At least.
Yeah,
If I see you going to your knees, I know that you're scared to let your balls hit that water. You're afraid of the cold. It's
exactly.
going to hit them. Yeah.
But then sometimes I try to go in even more because then it looks like I'm just going in to take a piss.
Yeah. Well, at that point, you've already got through the balls. That's the scariest part. You might as well just dunk under.
Yeah, yeah. There's like 2 levels of getting in water:
Yeah.
balls and head.
Yeah.
And
But once you did the balls, I feel like the head is just naturally
It's
gonna
in.
come. Yeah,
You're
like,
like
oh, I've
in-
already got through the hard part.
You're in like Flynn.
Yeah, it's like you're in a boxing match. You've already been punched in the face. I might as well really keep fighting at this point, dude. Right? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Once the balls are in, you're in.
You're in. Yeah. That's the hurdle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless the water's like the Bahamas.
I wonder how that feels for like a woman. Does does it have the same effect if their vagina gets wet?
I don't know, dude. I really don't know, dude.
It's a silly question.
I don't know.
but I
Like, are
ponder.
the nerve endings the same, like on the external,
This is
or is
what I'm
all their
saying.
nerve endings
Or-
like more on the inside? Or
I think balls are just a fragile organ.
yeah, because like you could punch someone in the titty,
Yeah.
and which is like a hanging,
And it'll hurt.
It'll hurt, but it's not like getting hit in the balls.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have a titty.
I've never seen a chick get punched in the titty and double over like when a man gets even grazed.
But here's the thing about a nut. Yeah, great. Yeah, exactly. A flick to the nut and you're out.
I'm out. I might even throw up if it's hard enough.
You could be like a well-conditioned Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
And if someone just flicks you in the nut, you're out.
It's a wrap.
You're like almost only as strong as your nut.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, like, typically if a girl fights a dude, they hit him right in the nuts and then it's over.
It took probably a good self-defense move on their behalf.
It's the main self-defense
move.
Yeah, like I could teach my daughter that shit.
Just kick him in the nuts.
Motherfucker. Yeah.
That's it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He ain't raping shit now at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not taking your purse.
Take him right out.
Yeah. Nuts.
Nut him out.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if there is an area on like the female anatomy that
because then it feels like getting
like that's like the Achilles heel, right?
Yeah, because it feels like getting into the ocean for them would be like a whole different experience.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely. It's gotta be.
Like if their butt gets wet, it's too cold or something.
Maybe it's like the butthole that's sensitive.
That's what I mean.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe
but and I wonder if it's like because like we have like does it just go to the next thing? Like whatever the weakest thing is that's getting wet is the thing that like doesn't like getting wet.
Yeah, I think it's probably like a nerve ending thing. Right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like your balls have like a lot of like they could feel sensitive.
Yeah.
Stuff with my bad burp there.
It's all good.
But,
Yeah.
Maybe like their nipple, right?
Yeah, but then sometimes I'll get in and just kind of get to the neck.
Yeah.
And chill.
Yeah.
And then I'll dunk the head a little, you know?
Yeah, but when you go to the neck, the intention is ultimately the head.
Always.
Yeah.
Unless like you're trying to get your hair wet.
Then I understand that too, because that requires like with your mane, that's like shampoo,
but I don't care about
sand, salt. You know,
I don't. Miriam always yells at me, says I don't take care of my hair. I'm like, because I always had long hair because it was more like I don't care.
It seems that way to me. Yeah.
Yeah, but like if
you're not the type of dude to shape up your beard.
No, if I maintain my hair, then I shouldn't have long hair. I feel, even though that's like opposite, because then like when you have long hair, you should maintain it so it looks good, right? Yeah. But I'd rather just like have it because the point was like, I don't know, you know,
because I'm out here chilling.
I'm out here just chilling. Yeah, I'm not gonna like fucking deep clean, deep condition my hair. That would be like kind of wild, you know.
Well, then you're blurring some gender roles there, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't see too many dudes on a Pantene Pro V ad, dude. You know, although you might start in the future now seeing that.
Yeah,
but
maybe on the Axe ad, like.
The Axe ad, you'll see that, you know. But even still, like, I know what you're saying though, dude. Because like I'm not. I used to be more concerned about like looking prettier. Mm-hmm. You know, like I might have went and like really stressed out about getting a haircut before this.
Oh, okay. Now
like,
you're down in Florida, just chilling.
I don't give a fuck.
But I feel like Florida brought out the colors in you, like you got that fly mint, like.
Yeah. It's
so like I think in making you like not care, you'll almost look like cooler.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's almost.
I think
like
I
how
look
that
more
works.
fun.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like funny because you can. I think that's how everything works. Like you see when you observe people, like the guy trying to get a chick just strikes out.
Yeah,
and then
the guy
there's some
that rolls
dude,
up in his sweatpants is banging everybody.
This guy's got fucking probably smells. Just gets out of like a Ford F-150 just hanging out. Yeah, might have been chopping wood, you know, earlier in the day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And now he's, you know, he might have been a plumber by day and he was laying down pipe. Now he smells a little bit and he's about to lay down pipe. You know what I'm talking about?
He smells like work though. He's probably fucking a bad bitch.
And that's it.
More than likely. Yeah. Like my wife, there's two things what she likes, right? That I've learned. She likes if I smell like sweat from working, like whether it be I worked real hard tattooing or if I'm outside like doing shit in the yard or whatever like that.
Right.
And or she likes if my clothes are all covered in paint from like feverishly working at art or graffiti or something like that. Yeah. Right? That's a turn on for her.
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm all crispy, she's like, send this sterile ass dick away from me.
Yeah, you got to get things to like soak in a little bit.
Yeah, but it kind of almost
a little of that marinade.
Yeah, well, it almost kind of like breaks it down to like your biological shit, right? You know what I mean? Like if you smell like you've been working, like you smell kind of like man, right? Exactly. So like that's like attractive.
Well, the pheromones, right?
Yeah, you're like releasing them, dude. Yeah. If I'm all like polished and like looking like Bad Bunny,
you're hiding your fucking.
You don't have any of that scent.
You're hiding those moans.
Yeah, you're attracting a different kind of mate.
Yeah.
You know?
I know that.
Like
that's
my pheromones aren't going to trigger the bitches at the coffee house.
They might.
It may be in a negative way.
But if you hide them, the world will never know.
Yeah, we won't know. We won't know.
You don't want to roll up smelling like an Abercrombie and Finch.
Nah, dude, nah.
Remember that fucking, I was in the mall the other day and I walked past like an Abercrombie store. First of all, I didn't know that kind of place would still be in business this many years later. But like when you walk by it, literally just like you smell cologne.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what in the holy endocrine disruptor is this? Like,
that's a good one.
You just walk into this fucking Abercrombie and Finch and like lose your whole sense of self. I feel like I'm getting zapped in the brain, just like.
Yeah, conformity.
I can't think straight. I don't know about you, but I have like a real problem with like strong scents that aren't natural good.
They'll give me a headache.
But I think I think there's research on it. I don't know. I've heard this before, that it literally disrupts your endocrine system and like ability to make decisions.
Yeah.
So like if someone were to come roll up to me, you know, smelling like an Abercrombie and Finch, might even be hard for me to concentrate.
Yeah.
I think that's like a real thing.
I think so too.
But I don't know where I was going to with that. But
I don't think it even matters.
Yeah.
I just like where you went.
Yeah, like but I like natural scents, like like essential oil or like, you know, like sometimes like the incense and shit like that.
I like shit that smells like cooked food.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that shit. Like you'll get me to like if things smell like cinnamon, or like if I walk in somewhere and it smells like bacon
or pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Like an apple pie.
Yeah.
So you like that like warm, like you walk into a house, like the heat's been on lightly or something, maybe.
Yeah, or I can smell someone was cooking. I don't care who it was cooking.
Oh, okay. Because it gives you, I think that gives like a homely.
Yeah. Well, especially because I'm like road weary all the time, right?
What does that mean, road weary?
I'd be on the road.
Oh, okay.
So like it's like extra nice, like
home.
Like the fact that my wife is like a nasty cook. Like I know when I come home, it smells like dude.
So you just have like a good association.
Yeah.
But is it something you develop in your like marriage, or is that something you had since you were a kid?
Probably since when I was a kid. I mean, I'm Irish, dude. We're not known for like being cooks. So like when I would go to like an Italian homie's house and it smelled fire.
So you weren't smelling this per se in your house.
No. But like my mom and dad, they're decent, you know.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out where the
not like,
positive
like
association came from. Like,
well, like you go to those people's houses, right? And like their whole Sunday is dedicated to like the meal and the family.
So you like that?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I like
so then
that.
essentially you
My
value.
favorite holiday is Thanksgiving.
Me too.
Because there's no pressure of fucking gifts.
My favorite.
It's all about just like meeting up with everybody, sharing the food
and together,
talking, chilling, dude. You know what I mean? Like that's, you know.
I agree. It's my favorite.
My favorite fucking holiday, dude.
Yeah. So, but I was wondering what in you, because you like that warm family vibe.
Yeah.
And I guess it shows because that's what you know, just from talking to you, that seems to be what you value, right? Your family, your kids, your wife, right?
Yeah. Well, both of my parents had to work so much too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of me coming home, like my mom was going to night school for like 14 years to get her degree. So even when she was home, she was working a lot on her studying and stuff, and you know, respect, salute, like she worked really hard. And you know, my dad made some mistakes earlier on where he put us in a little bit of debt with some activities he was doing, and he wound up having to work like a lot of fucking hours, dude.
Right.
You know, like 70, 80 hours a week at a grocery store. You know what I mean? Like so that we could stay living in Fanwood and not have to move back to Staten Island or something.
Right.
So I think that concept of like there being time for that is valuable to me.
Yeah.
Because not like my parents weren't around. They just had a lot of shit to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To pay those bills. I mean, you know,
just to survive.
Like, you know, that's just what it was, dude, you know?
Yeah.
And
which might even lead us to like we were saying before with the making time, like just even as like specifically a tattoo artist, it's like the same kind of thing. Like we were saying, people that ruin their marriages or, you know, like don't spend time with their family because they think they have to, you know, put in work to excel.
Well, when I think about the fights that were had between my parents when I was coming up, it was almost always about money.
Right.
Almost always about money.
And you hear that a lot about most. I mean, I feel like
it's
most
almost
people's,
like every relationship. Like if they like, it'll be beef about money or something like that, right? And like, or the fallout from the pressure of money. Like,
yes.
like I think my dad, I think he like, if I'm not going to put any words in his mouth. You know what I mean? He's his own man, obviously. But just from my point of view, I think like when my dad had like a little relapse, like drinking, and my parents had problems again, I think the motherfucker was stressed.
Yeah.
Because everything was going good and you weren't fighting about money, you probably wouldn't pick up a drink.
Right.
Or
Or at least be way less probable to do that.
Way less probable. Like I have no desire to have a drink now because I got my shit in order. Like I got like what I value in order.
It goes hand in hand.
I think so.
And I actually think it has to do with just literally like knowing what you value and then like putting time with it.
Yeah.
It's like nurturing the plant like that you want to grow.
Sorry, the allergies killing me.
Nah, it's all good. It's like if you had like a house plant.
Yeah.
And you spend time with it. Like people are like, oh, if you talk to your plant, it grows. But I don't even know that it's that you're actually talking to it. I mean, there might be some metaphysical aspect, but I think it's just because if you're taking the time to talk to your plant, it means you're just looking at it a lot, which if you're looking at it a lot, you can think like, hey, it needs a little more water. You start to learn about when to water it. Yeah. So it's like, I think it's the same thing probably with like a family.
Yeah. Well, like I know my kids.
Right.
Sorry. I know my kids. Like I'm actively involved in their everyday. Right. And I've been afforded that because of this job too.
Because you're able to have success doing so.
I have more time.
And I think that's what we said earlier to like kind of open this up was the time.
Yeah.
Time is like your greatest attribute.
Sorry, dog. This shit crazy. But no, that's it. Like I know what's going on with Leo. I know what's going on with Quinn. My daughter, I'll know what's going on with her, dude. And I also think that's important too, because hold on. You mind if I just get a cough drop real quick?
Get it out. Get it out.
This shit wild, bro.
Yeah, get that
Get
out.
the cough drop, soothe it down.
Yeah, hell yeah. People are saying on the internet that if Austin could just pause its weather right here.
Yeah, right.
Because it's like it's starting to get nice and warm, but like it's not
not oppressive yet.
No.
Not oppressive yet.
Not about to get steamed out,
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about it when you were saying time affords you that ability. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about that as I was coming down the stairs, and I was like, to go back before about time being like literal currency. Mm-hmm. I think because of like what I do, I was able to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think once you have the time, you could start really getting into things even deeper that you enjoy.
Well, anything that's like worth doing takes time.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like, I think like for me, I think being like a sick dad is like worth my time. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like probably my main focus. Right. And then like, then like art and stuff is right after that.
But I also think it's also fulfilling. So
it's crazy.
And then you bring that energy into your art.
Yeah, man.
And I think that's why we've seen your art even take like more creative leaps and bounds.
Big time.
Because you're not just sitting there trying.
No, it's coming out. It's just flowing out.
Because you're just in alignment with good value systems.
Yeah, like for example, whatever I'm doing now, honestly, dude, I have to give the credit for the switch of that to Leo and Quinn.
To your kids.
My kids. Because so, it was like during COVID and, me and Leo had a bunch of time. We're like sitting there watching art stuff. He's drawing with me. And Leo got really into new school stuff because we were watching like graffiti and like the characters, right? So then he was like, yo, like, do you know any guys that do this? I was like, yeah, I'll fucking message Timmy B right now. And then Timmy sent him sticker packs. And Tony Ciavaro sent him shit and all this kind of stuff. And then that started like bringing out this shit in me where I was like, like maybe it's fun to just have some fun, right? Like maybe like I was negating that whole part of me, like that I drew that shit coming up, right? You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, I would draw this stuff because it was fun. And like by hanging out with my son, he almost like brought that part of my inner kid like back out again, right? And that made a whole nother path that I went down with my tattoos and paintings and everything else, right? You know what I mean?
And then, and you were able to just take that energy and just keep rolling it
forward. It like reminded me to like have a good time. And then Cleo brought out that part, right? And then Quinn he's like into he's really into like creatures and nature and snakes and aliens and shit. And he gives me ideas all, and like we'll sit there and draw.
Yeah.
And he'll like just start putting eyeballs over here or putting something else over there. And I'm like, oh fuck, that's a good fucking idea.
Yeah, you're like literally like getting like literal inspiration from your kid.
Well, their mind is like not
Conditioned by
like it hasn't
bullshit.
been in a bunch of society where like, you know, you think like, oh shit, to make this pop and I got to do it like what I've been seeing before.
Yeah.
Or like whatever, what the standards
It's
are.
kind of sucky how we get like subconsciously conditioned by like even just I don't even like follow on a lot of tattooers sometimes.
No, I mostly only follow like oil painters and graffiti writers.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much it.
I almost just look at puppies and butts on social media.
I mean, that's not a bad thing either, bro, you know?
Yeah.
But like like being like caught up in like I don't think you're going to create anything new in tattooing by looking at other tattoos.
No, for sure, no.
And that's what a lot of people I think look for, like that's where they're trying to get the inspiration from, but they're not realizing like the cats who are like the illest in tattooing probably came from some other background, or that's not their inspiration. Like I love this kid from Bogota. His shit is called No Outline. But he's like a sick graph writer and muralist, like before this, and his tattoos look like something I've never seen before.
Well, I mean, I even just get inspired every time I see you because you're putting so much effort, or I should say lack of effort or something, in watching art other than tattooing.
Yeah.
So like you'll just put on the TV graffiti or whatever, and I'm even like, remember a few times I was like, look at this fucking texture. Like,
Well, you were looking at the colors on Duz's
Yeah.
graph. You're like, oh shit, I didn't think about that palette, dude.
yeah. So
Like tattooing, if you just look
and
at
that's
that,
me
like,
just being with you for a short period of time. So
that's like my eternal existence.
I know.
Dude. Yeah. But that's why we're like in this, right? You
Right.
know, like that's why we're homies, right? You know what I mean?
But it's like I guess I've done things like that in the past, but I'm putting it now so much into this.
yeah,
But I just feel like I personally need my mind to be into something
yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
I need to be like, I don't want to use the word addicted, but like real fucking deep in the trenches of like learning something.
What's a new journey, right? Like,
And I feel that way with this particularly because it's so difficult to like, film, edit, cameras, lighting, microphone, sound, social media, like all this stuff that goes into it. It's like the last time I felt that into something was like tattooing itself.
well, but now think about it, right? Like, okay, even on your worst day, you could come in here with like the OG version of 2020 COVID, be sick as fuck, and still not really do a bad tattoo.
Right.
Like maybe you wouldn't like it compared to your standard now, but
Or it wouldn't be my
pretty much-
favorite one.
but you're not like
but it
gonna
would pass. It would be.
There's no circumstance in which that you're gonna fuck up a tattoo at this point, right?
Right. Mhm.
So there's not really like a struggle there, right?
Exactly.
Right. So you're like, okay, cool. I obviously still love and enjoy this, but like I would like a little more challenge. Yeah, like I guess struggle isn't the right word for that. A challenge is a
But
better
it's true.
word.
Yeah.
You know what
Which
I mean?
like you could find that, I guess, in a painting because you can go larger scale.
There's things I can't do on skin that I can do in a painting.
Yeah.
There's things I can do with spray paint that you can't do.
There's
with
and
oil
they would
paint.
even just be new challenges.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why I'm so into painting and like writing graph again now, because it's like, first off, like spray paint, they didn't have this shit when I was like stealing paint from Home Depot. There was like I was stealing like Rust-Oleum and fucking painter's touch and shit. Now there's like different pressures, multitude of caps. There's so many effects you can do. It's like a cool thing that I already am kind of familiar with.
I even get some of those videos in my algorithm with like these caps that are like funky or have like pressure valves in them. You see some of those
crazy.
things.
So
I don't know.
the guy with the glove with all the fucking.
I wonder if there's going to be like advancements in that. Is that still advancing, or they're kind of just set with what they use?
I think everything's advancing.
Yeah. Well,
you know what
I guess
like
I
pretty
guess so.
rapidly.
Yeah.
But there's like something to that. But that is gonna, like, when you have those like experiences, it brings like new life into the shit you already were doing.
Yeah.
Right. Like, like by doing this, you're like, you're going to be talking to other people that have like different mindsets or different
And
reasons.
for me, that's my favorite part about doing
Yeah.
it. It's like I get to just absorb the energy of so many different people.
Yeah.
I'm interested in just talking to people.
Yeah.
I kind of want to expand this out from not just tattoo artists as well.
No, it would be way better to have
Yeah.
all different
Yeah.
kind of people on there.
All artists,
you know?
creatives, chefs, doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Well, no, I mean, a chef
Doctor.
is a fucking artist, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I guess it would be like rooted in art, but that's just because that's what I do.
Yeah.
You know,
That's where it starts. You know
That's
what I
where it
mean?
starts,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
where it starts. Like Rogan's early ones were like, probably comedians and his homies.
it was.
And then now it's like anyone that's ill.
but still kind of finds his way back to comedians for the most part.
That's the base, right?
that's like a
the
base, so that's like
it's
how
like
I feel.
comedians and MMA is like the base,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, but then he's gonna have on whoever.
Yeah.
Everyone from like Neil deGrasse Tyson to Alex Jones is on that.
It's
bitch,
pretty
dog.
cool. Yeah. I like that idea. It's neat.
Yeah, and in that too, like, you're more than likely gonna encounter some ideas that might even trigger like a new thing in the shit you do every day.
Yeah.
Tattooing. Like you might be like, fuck, I didn't think about that perspective. Like, even if I take 10% of that and use it in my creative process, I just like made a whole new thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think just exposing yourself to different people and things is what truly gets sparks your creativity.
100%.
You can't just, it's like the definition of madness, like doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
You're going to get the same result
Yeah.
and then like not adjusting. So it's like trying to stay inside of like a jail cell and finding new inspiration when you just work every day.
Or it's like if you only watch one particular news media, right? Like if you watch Fox, you think this way. If you watch CNN, you think this way.
Yeah.
And if you don't watch any of the other ones, you're not growing at all,
Yeah.
right? If you don't hear anything that challenges your idea or your way of thinking, you don't make any.
So you almost even need to hear what's wrong potentially.
Yeah, you need, like, dude, if everyone's sucking your dick all the time with your tattoos, right? It's a fucking best, dude. You're more than likely going to stagnate.
Yeah, and I see it happen all the time.
All the time.
You do, right?
Like, that's why it was good that Dimitri was like the one who brought me up, because he's like kind of rough on me, dog.
Yeah.
He'd be like, this is shit.
It should be that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like kind of made me like, all right, well,
I always tried to live by the rule: if you're the best one in the room, you're in the wrong room.
that's a good way.
It's
to
just
look
really
at
that
it. Yeah.
simple, you know. And now I'm in a room by myself.
Yeah, but you have some of the best in other rooms come and visit your room,
Yeah, exactly.
which is like
that's all I want. Like,
that's like people were like, oh, you didn't like, think about it, right? Like when my wife was pregnant, I was tattooing in like a small little condo in Daytona, like illegally and shit, right?
Yeah.
And like Jake Sheffields and Perry did a guest spot at my apartment.
at your apartment. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like in the shit I rented where I
And
just tattoo out of.
And
like,
those guys are pretty good.
yeah, I'd venture to say they're pretty solid, right? You know what I mean? Or like when we're in Delaware, they're like, oh, you don't mind just working just you and your wife, or just mostly you? And I'm like, no, because Bobby's coming, Perry's coming, fucking Camille Mossad is coming, Dimitri's coming.
Yeah.
And like
then you could go somewhere too, you know.
And then I will go visit them, because that's kind of how it works, right?
Yeah.
Like
you hit the homie back, like
yeah, it's like, okay, like, you know, like Dimitri come to visit me a couple times, like, all right, I gotta go to Denver.
yeah, you got to go
I
visit
gotta
the
go.
guy.
Yeah, gotta. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just how it goes. Like,
He needs the infusion too.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah, and he came and already infused you. Like,
yeah, so now I got to go infuse his shit real quick. You know what I mean?
That's
yeah. You know
just
what I
like
mean?
drop off a little infusion. Like,
Yeah. It would be like, otherwise it'd be like a half a handshake.
right.
Like it'd only do like this.
Yeah.
You know?
You're just gonna
You
go
need to
out there
get
like
that
the electronic bees and just bust a nut into the air.
into the air,
and
blazing.
then just hope a flower catches that nut.
hope it catches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just like drop your seat off in Denver real quick. Like,
Real fast.
now you got a bunch of hatchlings. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, dude. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's definitely that's like the cool part, you know?
yeah.
Because almost like sometimes like being in an like this is gonna sound fucked up, and I don't mean it this way, but the worst thing that ever happened to my creativity was being exposed to having to work next to Dennis Sivak at that time.
Yeah. And you've told me this before, but
Yeah, because like what it did was he was so good at what he did
yeah.
that it made me nervous to take the risks that are the things that actually made me poppin' in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I started playing it safe, and then I want to be miserable.
Well, it's actually kind of
know?
funny you say that, because I was going to say, what about, like, was that in you? Because even though you made you feel that way, it still would have technically been safe for you to take a risk. But something in you was because
It
at
made
that
me feel
time,
shy or
because
whatever.
at that time you
I
did
looked up to
value
him
his approval.
100%
Yeah.
I did.
But I like that you prefaced that statement with that because you were like at that time, which
Yeah.
leads me to believe at this time you would have zero qualms about doing that.
No, I almost think that Dennis would appreciate me.
Yeah, and he would have then, but you
Yeah.
weren't ready.
That's why he probably liked seeing my shit in the first place.
Yeah.
Was that he was like, oh, this motherfucker's out here taking risks like Dimitri would.
Yeah.
You know, which is why he valued Dimitri's work. Dimitri took some risks, bro. Sometimes they paid off, sometimes they didn't, right? You know?
But that's like how all risks work.
Yeah, 100%.
Because if there wasn't the possibility of it not working out, then we probably wouldn't call it a risk.
No, it would just be a move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would just be a lateral move or whatever,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah.
know? But like now, if I was to go work with Dennis, it would be an extremely like a beneficial or uplifting thing because I'm confident in my shit. Like I guess I wasn't confident enough
That's what
to
I'm
be
saying.
around a cat that was that confident
That was my point.
at that time.
Well, that's like the wavelength. You know, like
Yeah, no,
like,
it's legit,
but literally,
legit, yeah.
I think that when you're confident, like you attract what's you are in the world. Like,
Yeah.
So if you're confident, then it's like somebody else who's confident works out.
Yeah.
But when you're not confident, you make it up an excuse in you.
Like I wasn't sure I was even deserving to be there,
Yeah.
right? At that time.
And then if
You know.
if you felt that way inside, then I think you didn't deserve to be there.
Almost in a way, yeah.
Not like literally.
Yeah.
Like you deserve to be there as like a human or whatever. But
Like
I mean,
I did the work to get there, but I didn't take the time to realize that.
right.
I didn't put enough value on myself, which is probably also why I slipped into drinking again at that time.
Yeah, like it all
Yeah,
relates.
it all does. Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Because
like an
there was like a hole inside me that I need to figure out first, like
yeah.
with my own self before I could be, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's everything, isn't it? Nuts.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's deep, but it's true, right?
It's 100% true.
Yeah.
There was like a legit hole in me, right? Like
Right.
I needed to figure out
Yeah.
what that was before I could even truly be at peace and start even finding my own real style, right?
And then exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
But that's like I love when people ask me like, how can you create an art style? And it's like I think that your art style is just it shows you how like the relationship is with yourself. Like
Yeah.
the stronger it is with yourself, the more your true style bleeds out.
And the more it's going to flow naturally.
Yeah, because if you don't know who you are, then how could originality come out of you?
Yeah. Okay, if you look at people that we're all friends with, then it makes sense. Like, okay, you look at Mark, right? And you know his demeanor and shit. Yeah, it makes fucking sense this motherfucker does flowers, right?
Yeah,
Makes sense, right?
makes very good sense.
You know, you look at Robbie Lados. He's like the richest homeless looking motherfucker that you'll ever meet, right? Like
Yeah.
he looks like he's homeless.
Yeah.
But and you look at his tattoo style, it looks all like textures and what does he spend his time doing? Riding
like-
dirt bikes in the woods and gardening. And
Like digging up trees.
that's
and
what I'm
shit.
saying. And it looks like something you'd rip out of the fucking ground.
So
you
get
know?
this, just to add to your story.
Yeah.
One time I backed out of his driveway, knocked over his mailbox.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was like a railroad tie piece of wood, just like hammered into
Yeah.
the dirt.
Robbie style.
And he was like, oh, don't worry. People do it all the time. And he had like the tools in his pocket.
To
He
handle
just
it.
jumped out of a truck and like fixed it real
Yeah.
quick. It was like hammering shit in.
That's
like,
what I'm saying,
Cranking wrenches and
Yeah.
oil on his hand. Like,
when you look at like E Diablo, right? Like it makes sense why he does that work. Like
yeah.
he there's that Latin element to it, to the way he's doing it, right? Or Brandon Herrera, same like it makes sense when you see him, right? You know,
Do me a favor, turn your mic a little bit.
Like this?
No, like angle it at you. Yeah.
like this?
Yeah,
Okay,
because then
cool,
it gets
cool.
more full. I think.
I got you.
Yeah. Here it's deeper.
But yeah, like all that shit makes sense, and those dudes are like relatively confident in who they are and their vision. Like they're not lying to himself, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny though? Because I feel like you could see who is sometimes.
I know exactly who it is, dude. I know.
Yeah.
I can look at it right away, and I'll be like, "Yo, you." Like again, I'm not gonna name any names because I really truly think a lot of these people really do care and they're trying to find it. But
Yeah, I think it's more of just like a lack of either experience or awareness. Like,
a lot of them are young.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
What did I fucking know about myself at 22?
Yeah, what
Right?
did you know?
I fucking nothing. I'm smoking crack.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I knew nothing, dude. You know.
you're just out there like chasing your tail around.
And I'll look at tattooers that are like extremely proficient, but their shit it looks like a watered down version of someone who does know themselves, right? Like a lot of people do a watered down Robbie or a watered down Brandon.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because they
because
like
they're-
that shit.
they're looking
right?
for But I almost think, I guess you need to look outside yourself before you can look inside yourself.
Yeah, it's all a process, right?
It is a process.
Like
Hopefully.
I looked at Dimitri. I was like, I like wanted to be a miniature Dimitri Vision for mad long.
Yeah.
You know, and then and then I wanted to be like a miniature David Horchera. And then eventually you come to a point where you're like, that's them, dude. That's not fucking me.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
not my life experience. That's not what got me here.
Literally.
Like, you know what I mean?
literally, I'm trying to be them.
Yeah, and Brandon Herrera is the one that really planted the seed in my head. He was like, and he did it by accident. He was like, it was like 2018. We're doing a collab on that kid Coot.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, dude, the way that you draw things and pick the lighting, it's got that graph thing, but like dark, you know? And I had never even thought about the graph background being even a part of it.
Right.
Like it didn't even cross my mind. And then I was like, fuck, I need to look into that more.
Yeah.
I need to remember that. Because that's the whole thing that's why I got into art school. That's how I got accepted. There was like, I go to SVA at the time. It was a very good art school, you know, and I'm sitting there like with my dad, right? And we're doing my portfolio review. And I'm watching motherfuckers come in there. And they've got like finished oil paintings that are like I'm like feeling insecure, right? I'm like, there's no way I'm getting out. I think I'd even said to my dad, like, this is fucking bounce, dude. Like, there's no way, right? No, see it through, right? And I had like a bunch of graph shit from notebooks and sketchbooks and like a couple like oil studies I tried to do of like a fucking cube or something, but it was trash. But I got accepted in there because of the graph shit, not because of the other shit.
Yeah.
I got accepted into one of the best at that time.
For who you were, what you actually like doing. Like, I feel like when it's who you are in alignment with yourself, you don't even need to try.
That'll just come out.
Yeah.
The only thing you're going to have to try on is recognizing when you've hit a flat spot and got too comfortable.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. But I also don't even mean that you don't have to try. I should reword that. I mean,
it'll flow is what you're saying.
Yeah, you definitely have to put in effort. I'm saying, but it'll the effort will be like natural. Like it'll be like something like, for example, like when you're here, you put on the graph painting like videos and stuff like that. And I love it. And I'm being inspired by it myself.
Yeah.
But I don't know that when you're not here, that's something that I'm going to put on.
Necessarily, no.
Because it's you. And I like you, and I like being inspired by you and what you're inspired by, and that inspires me, and whatever have you. But think
that's maybe not your day to day.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. It doesn't.
But that's why you like a little injection real quick. And back out.
Yep.
You know,
you come in and give me that infusion.
Yeah,
you know
real
fast.
Dude.
Yeah,
just some vitamins real quick.
Yeah, It's like I got a vitamin B shot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You did a what do they call an IV real quick? Got rid of a hangover real fast.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it wasn't.
But you don't need an IV every fucking day.
No. And it wasn't like an ayahuasca trip.
No, that's wild. Yeah. That's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's tattooers that meeting them is like an ayahuasca trip.
Yeah.
You know,
but
I
I'm
feel
saying,
like people probably feel that way about me sometimes.
No. Sometimes, well, I'm just saying I was more like about the interaction. It's like, coming and getting like, going down over there and getting like that vitamin B shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ayahuasca trip, I don't know that I've been on yet. You know what I mean? Like, But yeah, I guess maybe you would be the closest to the ayahuasca trip.
I'm a shock to the system, dude, at some time.
Yeah.
It's funny because like we're doing this and I'm like, actually,
yeah, you ain't no vitamin B shot. You're like, you are the ayahuasca, man.
I guess, yeah, dude. And it's funny because like I'm actually like calm in this interview.
At the very least, like the peyote.
At the very least, I'm like a nice handful of shrooms, dude.
Yeah.
Like this kid Mike that works with me.
But it ain't a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing.
You need that.
Like this kid Mike that I work with around. Little Mike, I can't even say his last name. It's Colombian. I'll butcher it on here.
So don't even
Mike
say.
at War Kings. He's fucking awesome, dude. I love this kid. But I've even like sometimes I go home and I feel bad because I'm like, am I like affecting this cat with my wild ass the way that I am? And at first I thought I was like almost damaging this like sound individual with like how I am.
Yeah.
And then I realized like I watched him have like some pretty awesome like breakthroughs, and he started taking art classes at the local college, and he's like doing shit on his own time, and like now he's gonna start up like a podcast or something too. Like I've watched all this stuff happen that I'm like, oh, sick. Okay, I didn't damage him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's kind of like the example you were given before, where like like that would be in him, right?
Yeah.
Like when you say damaging him, like you could only damage someone who's susceptible to being damaged.
Yeah, but he actually showed me that he's not susceptible
Yeah.
to damage. He's actually like
Yeah.
he's far more forward thinking than I. You know, it's like this. Like if you're around only a certain kind of person, right? Which is like Orlando tattooing is pretty much one certain kind of person, and I'm not that.
Yeah.
Right. And then you get an injection of sitting next to me every single day, hearing all the wild ass fucking shit I'm talking about every day. Like, you know what I mean?
It's definitely like a good, I think, experience for one.
But he took like the positive shit from it, which I was like sick, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like crushing shit. He's exploring shit. He's fucking painting like,
Yeah.
And he's at that critical 5-year mark of tattoo.
Maybe you were like the nudge he needed.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't want to take all the credit
You
because
were
he's
like
doing
his
a lot of work.
tattooing. You were like his tattooing ayahuasca trip.
I guess. Maybe. Yeah, dude. You know?
Yeah.
And
You just went out there and like showed this guy some aliens real quick. Like,
more or less. Yeah.
but
yeah.
you didn't, he actually found them within himself. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like super cool. You know what I mean? I'll do that though. I'll like shatter paradigms. I'll come in here and be like, you're fucking stupid if you're just chasing the bag or whatever. Like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
I do shit like that. I disrupt things. Like, you know, that's probably why I got to work by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you know, I can
But
disrupt
I'm
the
the
whole
same
shop
way,
paradigm.
to a different degree than you. I've always had trouble at shops because like I don't follow someone's rules. Like
Nah.
I'll respect like people, obviously, you know, but like yeah, like I'm not gonna. I'll just like come whenever I want and
Yeah.
leave. I don't care, you know, just in general, just because that's how I live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that would become more of a problem if I couldn't provide for myself, but I could. So like
Yeah.
I can't go back to that way.
Yeah.
You
no,
know.
No.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine that now.
No.
Like if I had to work at someone's shop and they were like, "Oh, this is the time we open, this is the time we close," I'd be like, "Yeah, what?
Fuck out of here, dog."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
So, say
but
what?
that makes me a problem for some
Yeah,
businesses.
well, the
you know what I
problem
mean?
is because and I'll explain why. Because those businesses have those guidelines in for maybe other people that work there.
Yeah.
and they kind of got their thing going on, and then you're kind of like not doing that, and then they'd be like, "Well, why does he?"
That's where I'm the problem.
Yeah.
That's where I'm the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot
So
of the time. Yeah.
why doesn't he have to do that? So now it's like a rift.
Yeah, I caused the rifts.
You could only own your own shop or work for yourself. There's just no other option.
There's no other option.
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
Are you
like
kidding
I
me?
can't like
I don't even want to go visit somewhere that has that kind of structure.
it's tough, dude.
I'll
like,
have kids opening shops up the street from your shop or leaving next week or something like yeah.
Well, like okay, for
Telling
example,
them that's corny, bro.
I went to do a guest spot with Jesse Smith, right? And now he has the main building, and then he has like another building, and like Jason Steffam and Jesse work in another building. Now Jesse was smart. Jesse put me in the other building with Jason.
Oh, okay.
Because he knew it would have been bad
Yeah.
if he put me. Like I think Franklin Sinatra was like, yeah, I don't know if you should fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and Sean's he's the dude.
He's coming
like,
in.
You're gonna love him, but
Yeah.
your staff might not.
It's like the infantry just hit the beach on D-Day. You know
all
what
day,
I mean?
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he like put me in the other building, and it was a fantastic time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But Jesse also like knew too, like, you know, I got to give Sean like the code to get in and out on his own. Like he'll abide by my rules a little bit. Like he'll start earlier. They start real early over there. They start like 9 to 5.
Right.
But he knew I was going to work past 5.
Yeah.
He knew that I was going to do that. He knew that I'm rowdy, so I'm going to be over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes that's like my problem with like visiting places. Like just it's hard to visit somewhere where you don't know the structure of their work. So then it's like even if like they're like, okay, yeah, cool, do this or that, you just don't feel comfortable about it if they're not on that same wave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm very picky.
More than ever too. You know, like now more than ever, it's a little tougher to go to someone else's place because we are like so separate, like as a nation, or I mean, probably all over the whole Western world. It's like this, you know. But like, you can't put me in like a shop in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Like, I mean, I could obviously, I'm good enough to work there, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but do you really want what might come out of that? You know what I mean? Like, do you really want that, dog? Like, you know what I'm saying, dude? Like, you know I'm gonna upset somebody.
Yeah.
Like, people will be like, how come you always go to Hialeah to work? And I'm like, Well, first off, the area of Jersey in which I started tattooing, I spent a lot of my like adult life is like Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So it's all Latin communities, this kind of thing. So I'm already used to that. I like that shit, you know?
Yeah.
But the other thing is all these guys are Cuban and Venezuelan. All my other friends are mostly Russian and people from Eastern Bloc. Like that's the kind of mentality, like someone that came up from a communist country. Like, you know, I get on with them dudes for whatever reason. Probably because they're paranoid and don't trust anything, which I also am, right? You know what I mean? Now, if you put me with someone who like, they like believe what they're being told, it's not gonna go well, dude. Like the waters are gonna get all muddy and I'm gonna disrupt some shit. Someone might even quit. Someone might even quit because I'm doing a guest spot at your shop.
Yeah.
So like I can only operate like within those parameters currently, right? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because I'm not gonna be like, even with clients sometimes I'm like, nah, nope.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not gonna just agree with you, dude. Like, you know, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, I'll just put headphones on and I won't book you again.
Yeah, that's the move.
Yeah, you know? Like,
Then nowadays, man, you don't even know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People be wild out there.
Yeah, pretty much, right? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but you had that like the similar quality, dude. Like I've noticed with
Yeah,
you,
I
like
built a bunker here.
yeah, like
I'm
like
hiding.
if something's going on that you don't like at a shop, or I know that a shop has run its course with you. When?
With me.
I've noticed this. I know
okay.
exactly when it's gonna go down.
Okay. So tell me about myself here. I'm real excited.
I'll notice that there's a few things that'll happen with you, right?
Yeah.
First, he'll be like, man, I don't know about this, bro. Like, you know, these motherfuckers want me to do this or that, you know, whatever. Then it'll be like, this percentage is pretty wild, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm feeling about that.
Yeah.
And then it'll just be like, this motherfucker's shoes were bothering me today. Can you believe this motherfucker, dude?
Yeah.
And I'll just watch it happen. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but really, you already probably were ready to bounce like a month
and didn't
before.
accept it myself yet.
But you're like, but it's still kind of good over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like a rag full of water and you just wring it out.
Yeah, and you're wringing it slow.
No, and then you wring it slow, and then what happens is like then it's wrung.
Yeah.
Then you go for the reverse ring.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You wring
yeah.
it the other way and get the rest of the water
I just like
out.
see the rags wet and I just bounce
Yeah, real quick.
early.
Yeah,
I've like
yeah,
bounced
yeah.
from my own shops.
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah, you were there for it, dog. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah.
So you're like, as soon as that rag hits water, you're just out.
like,
I'm here wringing it out.
Yeah.
Not anymore, but that's
No, yeah, but now you've gotten.
Yeah.
But
Now-
I've like in the past, I've been like, Bobby's gonna quit in about 3 months.
and now I'm mad at my own shoes. Like,
Yeah, then you're like, I don't even like my fucking pants.
no, I was trying to find things to be mad at when I had my own place because I all the things I used to get mad at, I have control over now.
Yeah. But
not-
it's nice because I like that accountability.
Yeah, but
like I got
that's-
no one else to blame but like the man in the fucking
That's
mirror.
the coolest
right?
thing.
Yeah.
So that's like how I know the type of person I am is like I need to be in that control.
I need to know that if there's a fuck up there, it's on me.
Exactly. Because then I have
Yeah.
control over it.
Yeah.
And I could fix it and I could get
Yeah.
better at it.
Or I have to just learn that like maybe it shines a light on a personality trait about myself that I don't like.
And maybe it's just something I need to accept.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Like Sean, you're just
fix.
this way.
You
Yeah.
have a few options. It's like fix it, change it, or stop doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
And that's it.
Yeah.
But when I don't have control over those three things, I'm lost.
yeah, and that's when like resentments start, right?
Because I see what someone should do to fix it and they
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
And then that's when and really just to retrace what you're saying, that's with me what grinds my gears.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I like it's not like I'm not a control freak. I don't need to be in control. I
But you're
just
not a
hate
cuck either.
Yeah, I just hate
I'm not trying to watch other people fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just hate seeing someone else in control and they're not doing one of those three
Yeah.
options. So it's like, hey, you know, owner or operator or manager, like this keeps happening. Like all you have to do is this to stop that.
Yeah.
But you're not.
And you could keep me as a relatively happy employee if you did it, but you're just not doing it.
You're not doing
Yeah.
it. Which then you could get into the fact that there could be like communication, but some people aren't willing to communicate. It takes two people to communicate.
Yeah.
So you could do your part on communicating,
Right.
but then someone could just not do their part, and then that's the end of the communication. So unless two people are willing to, like, so a good manager or owner, like, you know, if
They're like in tune.
yeah, I would know I fuck up or what makes me mad, hopefully, and then look inwardly and be like, oh, wait, that's what I did wrong.
Yeah.
So, or maybe once a week, ask the guys that work there.
Yeah.
Do you need anything? Is there something that you want? Like, is there something better? And then they could be like, oh, you know, I was thinking
Yeah.
We can do this. And then you could be like, all right, well, you know, it's either within my budget, it's possible, whatever.
Yeah.
And then boom, everyone's happy.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
Like, hey, can we rotate the music?
Or you could be like, or you could look to the dude and be like, you know, look, man, I looked into it. Like, we just can't afford to do that.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
then at least that guy
But
can
like,
say,
he knows that you tried.
that's it. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's all it would be.
Yeah, and then you'd be like, all right, man, I get it, dog. Yeah, that would cost a lot more money for us to have this or something like that.
Yeah,
You know
maybe
what
I didn't
mean?
see it from your angle.
Yeah.
But
It's-
I think that's just like, so sometimes I felt like just simply working at a tattoo shop where I didn't like the music.
yeah.
It's not that I hate your music. I like that you like the music.
Yeah.
And I like that you put it on.
Yeah.
And you worked hard to maybe have this place to do that too. And that's great.
Yeah.
But it's like maybe one day we could just throw on a couple of my music too. Maybe
Yeah.
you'll learn something about my music and maybe you'll inspire your art.
Yep.
Just like a better symbiosis.
Yeah.
Even if someone just said, hey, do you like literally anytime someone asked me, like, what do you want to put on? I literally just have them do it. But the fact that they asked me like cleared the air for me.
Yeah. We're
That's
good.
it. We're good. Now I
here.
want to see what you put on.
Well, you'll be like, yo, man, you're better at this than me. Put on the fucking TV. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. But it's but I would feel cornered if I didn't have an option to put something.
Yeah.
The fact that I could have selected something before that or maybe later.
Yeah.
Now I'm into what you put on.
Now we're cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also a dialogue to be like, I'm not really feeling this. You want to flip it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, we watched a bunch of this. We're good. We're
Exactly.
good.
Yeah. I think I said that. Let's get rid of the Mayan stuff. It's been on for 2 hours.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And no one's even watching it.
And no one's mad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no one's mad.
But why don't places just do shit like that? Like, that's what I don't get,
I don't know.
you know?
But I mean, also, you got to think like, all right, most people are conformists,
Right.
even in this industry.
Yeah, even in what is like once a rebellious,
Yeah.
there's like a conformity within the rebellion.
It's more conformity in this industry than I've ever seen before.
Probably it's at an all-time high. I
The
would imagine.
highest.
Yeah.
The highest. To quote Robbie Lados, we are almost in the dark ages of tattooing, is what he said to me recently. And I think it's because of that. Like, there's not, like there's the pressure to do what social media wants and not take the risk and explore and just conform to what the magazines or sponsors or whatever want.
Yeah.
Like, there was a point that I thought I was even getting dropped from a few of my sponsors because I was trying different shit and I hadn't produced a heater in a while. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I hadn't produced that one that they could like share on their page as like a banger,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, that they were expecting from me. That's why they sponsored me.
Sometimes I feel like that now.
But yeah, but you know, obviously I come out on the other side. And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
still
That's the
sponsored.
plan.
Yeah. But that's probably why they invested in me in the first place.
Well, because like ultimately you're like a correction.
Yeah.
You're like Mother Earth. Like you just like
Yeah.
when things go awry, it corrects itself.
Well, I mean, it's kind of what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
You know, things have gotten too soft. Now there's a fucking first world country war going on.
Right.
You know?
Correction.
Correction. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, hey.
Nature has a way of doing those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
That's like when people talk about the world ending, and I'm like, is the world going to end, or is it like we who would be ending?
I mean, would we even end? Or would just the way that this shit is right now will end?
This is what I mean.
Yeah. Like think of all these different civilizations, right, that been on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
They all had ill shit going on.
Yeah.
They all ended.
Right.
But humanity didn't end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And
It just got uncomfortable for a little bit of time.
Even if humanity did end, would the trees still grow and the grass still grow?
I mean, unless we
flowers
nuke the
still
whole
bloom?
place, yeah, you know.
But
But
yeah,
even then, enough time after that, it's still going to come back.
That's what I mean. And in
Yeah.
geographic time, that would be very, very, very short.
Nothing. It'd be a blip.
Literally,
Be nothing.
not even a second.
Yeah.
Nothing. Right.
In the
And who
scheme
knows
of
if
the
it
earth.
didn't happen before?
Well, it definitely did.
Well, then that's like when you get into that whole like Randall Carlson. What's his name?
Randall Carlson.
Randall
yeah,
Carlson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Graham Hancock kind
Yeah,
of shit.
Graham
yeah.
Hancock.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was looking
You
for.
get into
but also Randall Carlson.
Yeah, they're like a duet.
Yeah,
those two.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're like Scooby and Shaggy.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's like a whole fucking thing. But yeah, like right. Who's to say we didn't reciprocate? That was my question. Like, even if humans did end, like there would still, then maybe it would give life to like a new evolution.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
But I feel like that's like sometimes I feel like that it's like almost like a little bit of like a cult like thinking too, like with the whole like environment, like it's almost like narcissism on a level of a species.
Yeah.
To think that like you're so important enough that like you're talking about like harming the earth and the world, but you're looking at it through a human lens.
Yeah.
Because this rock floating through space, I think, is more resilient than just our existence.
Oh, dude. I mean,
There's been species like, I don't know, the dinosaurs.
Even before that, the Permian extinction was like the wildest one. I think it's like 90% of everything on the
Like
earth
the
died.
earth will correct itself.
It does.
That's what I mean.
It's done it like a bunch of fucking times already, dude. Yeah.
Bitch ass plastic, it'll just shake it off.
Yeah.
And then get clobbered by rocks from space a few times and then just still give birth to the earth that it was, right?
Yeah. And then like some other new shit.
That's what I
pops up.
mean.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I'm not no.
Like we wouldn't even exist if dinosaurs didn't go out, because mammals would have been these small things that fucking were hiding in the shadows.
This is what I mean.
Yeah.
So the fact that they went out, and I'm not a specialist in, natural history, but I know that
The broad strokes, yeah.
the broad strokes would indicate to me that like because the dinosaurs got extinct and we were able to like prevail later.
Mammals were able to rise, dude.
Yeah. So like what if we ended ourselves, like what would be next? Like if you look at
Something
things in
else.
terms of the whole like evolution of Earth,
Yeah.
I think that we associate humanity and Earth as
With,
like
like, its
synonymous.
pinnacle, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
That's why I said
necessarily.
it's almost like a species level narcissism.
Yeah.
Like
we're the shit. Like,
Yeah.
how do you know?
yeah, exactly.
How do you know?
How do you
How do you know there wasn't something already here that was like, all right, I'm out, bounced, left the whole planet?
because they figured that out way
figured it
before
out,
us,
like-
and that's where you see like the wonders of the world and
Yeah,
Easter
yeah.
Island.
Yeah,
and the
you're like, well, maybe
pyramids.
they were like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go somewhere else. They figured out.
Well,
some
and the
other
answer is you don't know.
shit. Nah, you never will.
But to tell me you do know that for fact, then that's crazy.
Well, anyone that says that they 100% know anything
Yeah.
is probably the dumbest person in the room. You can have strong convictions about something, but
Sure.
you don't know.
But you need to leave some percent of openness for it not to be true.
100 fucking %.
I actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know if I feel comfortable around people who are that
That's sure.
firm on something.
Yeah.
If you're so sure on something, anything, without leaving any room for the possibility of that being false,
Yeah.
I
Well, I think you're not intelligent.
I think it's almost dangerous.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like Stalin.
It literally sounds like dictators.
Sounds like Hitler, dude.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
But it's
dude.
kind of weird because in today's society, it almost seems like those types of people sometimes are like honored in a weird way. And people
right now.
Well, I know.
Right now.
Yeah. And that's a real
not
bad look. Like,
That's not a forever thing.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not because logic indicates otherwise.
Yeah.
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 Right?
I'd say, yeah, I'd definitely say.
Yeah.
But I think I probably got a boogie.
Yeah. Hell yeah. You still got to drive back to Florida.
Yeah.
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 Hell yeah. Well, thanks for
Hey,
doing this.
dude, fucking,
Yeah.
it
Hell
was
yeah, man.
awesome. Ah.
Yeah.
Fucking A, dude.
Yeah,
Hell
we'll do it
yeah,
again
dude.
sometime.
Of course.
Thanks for coming down.
Next time, hopefully I won't have allergies. I'll go on a funnier route. We were philosophers today.
It's okay.
No, I enjoy that.
I think it's mostly just because you made me come here so early because I know you got to boogie down.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I haven't been this up early since I had to catch a flight or something. Like,
Yeah,
you know, it's
oh,
like
no,
this
for
is
sure.
this is like early for me, you know.
Yeah,
So
no,
my
that's smart.
brain was like a little more, but it is what it is.
No,
Still a
I
good time.
had a fucking great
But
time.
now I'm up and out. I could get shit done.
Yeah, you'll be good.
Or I could just go home and take a nap.
Yeah,
you know.
could, like jerk off into a towel
That's
and
it.
fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah, just
or
shoot my
something.
seed around
Yeah.
Texas. You know.
Just fucking, you know.
Cool, man. Well, thanks
All
again.
right, no problem, dude.
Later,
It was
guys.
awesome being here.
Deuces.
Peace.